Well, howdy do, y'all. Yous ready to catch some fish today? I hope so, because it's time. It's past time, actually. The sun is up right now. We got to get after them and get going, y'all. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put y'all in the chest. We're going to go raw and uncut today, unedited. I'm going to bring y'all with me while I'm doing some drift fishing today. We're going to work a ledge, a stretch of the Tennessee River I have never fished before. And we're going to just cover some water today, log some hours out here, and hopefully catch a bunch of fish. That's the plan anyway. So let me get y'all here in the chest while we get baited up. I got to get my shades on first thing, man. It is going to be a bright, sunny day out here. So let's get our baits going. I'm in my Old Town kayak today. This is my pedal kayak, my basic setup. I've got 2 rod holders and a old graph that's several years old, but it shows us the depth. It's got a map card in there and it shows us our speed, and that's all we need for what we're doing today. So my first bait here is my favorite bait in the entire world, a skipjack head. We've got that on a Carolina rig, 8-ounce egg sinker up top, 10-aught size circle hook, and then we've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly a few inches below that piece of cut bait. I'm gonna drop it down here to the bottom. We are 22 feet deep here where we're starting out. So we're fishing shallow today. Shallower than what I normally do anyway. 22 feet deep for where a lot of yous fish, but on the Tennessee River, I fish areas down to 110 feet deep. So 22 is pretty shallow for what you normally see. Me, at least my regular viewers anyway, but a few days ago, my last catfishing trip, last video for you regular viewers, tore them up in shallow water. So we're gonna try the shallows again today. Now this next bait here, same exact rig as before. Difference is we've got a chunk of skipjack instead of the head. This is gonna be our setup today, a head and a chunk. We're gonna rock it all morning out here. Probably gonna fish 3 to 4 hours. It's a sunny day, it's hot, it's already hot. And so, going to be a short morning trip for me. I had hoped to be out here at sunrise, but you know what? It is what it is. So, we out here now. But I'm going to cozy us up over here to this ledge. Then I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to show you how we're going to work this ledge. And we've got some current flow this morning. We're going for a drift, like I said. We're just going to let the current take us. I'm going to keep us lined up on this ledge as we go down through here. What I want to do, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see right now with the sun at the angle it is, plus I've moved my graph here too, but 22 feet deep. The contours here come together. That signifies the ledge over here where it comes down real sharp. We're on the edge of that. And we're gonna work this all the way down, just a big long stretch of it here this morning. We're just gonna keep going. Now, the river bends on down river here. We'll go to, down to a river bend, possibly, if we get there. I'm terrible at judging distances. But if we make it down that far, we may switch over to the other side of the channel and work that outside bend. We'll just see how far we get. But what I wanna do right now, at least to start, is hit this side over here. So my last video for my regular viewers, again, this is brand new water to me. I've never fished here in my life. It's been on the to-do list forever, never hit it. So I come out here a few days ago, fished upriver from here, and we drifted down, and man, I got a bunch of fish. I got some good quality fish. My best fish of the day came just down from where we're at right now. It was at the very end of the trip. I tried to rush the process, broke him off right there because I was running out of battery life. But anyway, what I thought I'd do today is come back down here and we would start the drift where I finished up that day and continue making our way downstream and just exploring, just seeing what we come across down through here, how many fish we get. It was a very active bite that day. I mean, there was very little stretches of downtime that we wasn't getting action. I don't know how many fish we ended up getting, but it was several, especially considering I'm only using 2 rods out here. So I went out yesterday, loaded us up on bait. We got a whole cooler full of skipjack, so we're good on bait. We ain't gonna have to be conservative. We ain't gonna be using those scraps. Like we're gonna be able to keep fresh baits on the whole time. So I've come just upstream from where I finished up, because right there at the end of that trip, I was getting several fish, and I did fish after my camera battery died. I fished a little longer after that, but all I had was scraps. So I got a couple more small fish, but nothing. I didn't have a great deal of confidence with the bait I was using at that point. But coming out here today, we're going to work this area again and just keep going. And boy, if the bite's like it was the other day, we're in for a good time today. So I'm going to put y'all in the chest here. And as we drift along, I'm just going to keep myself trying to cozy up to that edge over here, right where it starts to come up at an angle. And so we're right here right now, just kind of in front of this slough. But just downstream from here was really where we started getting, well, this whole area through here, really, I was getting bit that day. There was a lot of fish in here. Now, conditions have changed since then. Two things. One, that day was really cloudy. Today, it's sunny. Now, the water is clear enough to have some visibility in it. And when you're fishing this shallow, one of my concerns has always been, this is why I don't typically, you rarely ever, all the videos I've done, around 900 or so on this channel, you rarely see me suspend fishing in water less than 20 feet deep. So today we're going to be 20, 22 feet in that range. We're kind of right on the borderline of what I don't want to suspend baits. And part of the reason I don't like doing it is because on days like today where it's really sunny, you drift over the top of these fish, you're putting off a shadow. Like, there's enough water clarity, enough visibility, they are going to know that you're here. Now, does that really make a difference or not when you're fishing in a kayak? I don't know. This kayak here, it's a smaller profile. I promise you, there's logs floating downriver that's bigger than my kayak. So I don't know that it makes a big deal. If you're like these people over here and you're in a pontoon boat and you drift over some fish and you're making all that noise with the water slapping against the aluminum and walking around and stuff, and you're putting off that huge shadow, I promise you it makes a difference. So, we'll see how it goes today. We'll compare the bite today with a few days ago when it was cloudy. But we tore them up that day, so the bar's been set pretty high. And I hope we get on some fish like that again today, because I mentioned in that trip, well, there's something splashing right there. There's some active fish out here this morning. I don't know what they are. I've seen some fish busting coming down through here to get set up, but I mentioned there the other day, when you're fishing shallow like this and you're fishing vertical with your lines down under you, 22 feet of water, man, we're only going to have out 18, 19 feet of line. So when fish hits, it is going to be on, man. And a few days ago, we had some weird bites. Like, we had some quality fish that just they didn't want to fight. Like it was just kind of, they were really, it just seemed like they were exhausted, like they just weren't into it. And I don't know if that's partially because of just the spawn going on right now. Maybe they've been building nests or defending nests, or who knows. But either way, we had some weird bites and some weird fights that day. But the goal is catching fish. We caught a bunch of fish. We're going to try to do it again today. And I think these people over here, I think they must be crappie fishing or something. I don't know what they're doing. But we're going to try to catch them quick today, because it's going to be hot as blazes. So I'm about to pull my buff up over my head right now, y'all. I don't mind catching a tan. I ain't trying to catch a skin cancer out here. But I'm gonna tell you some stories today. I've got some updates because it's been a few days. So those of you following along my life saga of the utility board tearing up my yard, I'll give you what update I have with that. Last video I mentioned how my house had been infested with ants. I have an update on that. I feel like I'm maybe possibly winning that battle. I'm gonna double down on my ant communist socialist society topic. I feel like that video from a few days ago obviously hasn't come out by the time I'm filming this, so I haven't gotten any feedback in the comment box, but I feel like I was driving home that day and I was thinking about my trip and stuff, and I was like, boy, I bet when I went on my conspiracy theory about how ants are the chosen ones on planet Earth, I bet I'm going to tick off a bunch of religious nuts with that one, like the hyper hardcore religious people. Like, I bet they're going to tear me up over that. So, you know me, when I dig a hole, I like to dig it deep. So I'm going to double down on those ants today and their communist society as we're getting hit right here. We got a little love tap already. Does he got it? He wants it. He's nipping. That's the chunk. What's a good sign? We're just a few minutes in. A few minutes of having baits down here, and we're already getting a little tap. We didn't want to catch that one, but it's good to know there's still some fish here. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you some stories about the ants. If we have a break in the fishing today at some point this morning, mid-morning, like if we're going through a little dead stretch or something, we're gonna call Ryan Bortz on the telephone. My cell phone reception out here is sparse, but we may give Ryan a call and see. This fella up here is just gonna stare at us, I reckon. Look at him up there. What the hell you looking at, buddy? At least talk to me. It's so annoying when people just come out and just stare at you. So rude. I've been thinking about getting me one of them there, I don't even know what they're called. Not telescope. Periscope? What are them things called? You'd see them on pirate movies and stuff. It would be like I remember one time in a McDonald's Happy Meal I got one. But it looks like it's real small, and then it extends out and you can look through it with one eye. It's like binoculars, but it's only got one. Monocular? I have no idea what word I'm saying right now. I may just be making words up. But you know what I'm talking about, I hope. It's like a telescope that you hold up to one eye. I've been thinking about trying to find me one of them. And on days where I'm fishing and a boat goes by real slow and they just stop and gawk at you the whole time and just stare. Or you get somebody, you're you know, like we're doing today, we're drifting by this houses here, and somebody will come out on the porch and just stare at you awkwardly for way too long a time. I'd like to be able to pull out that monocle, whatever it is, pull that thing at, like, flick it almost, you know what I mean? Like, so it makes a popping noise as that thing extends, and then just hold it up to my face and just stare at them back until they look away. That's what I'm thinking about doing, y'all. If people want to be a bunch of rude asses, I'm going to be rude back. But I'm going to be obnoxiously rude when I do it. I was always taught it wasn't nice to stare, but I swear every time I'll see a boat go by with some old men. They've never seen a kayak before, apparently, and they will just, you'll see them coming, and they're staring all the way past you, staring. They'll be looking back. They're going to have a crick in their neck. They're staring so hard. And it's like, man, I know I'm good looking, but shoot, I ain't got no tatas or anything. I ain't wearing no thong out here. You don't need to be salivating that hard. I gotta figure out what them things are called so I can get me one. I had one from a McDonald's Happy Meal back in the day. It was a kid, but I mean, that would be fine. Even if I had a kid's one, because it would still serve the purpose. I'd still be able to flick that thing out there and make that popping noise as it expands, and then put it up to my face and look at them. It would still serve the purpose. It doesn't even have to work. It ain't like I want to look at them anyway. It's always old men that's looking at me. It's not like it'd be a hot chick I was wanting to check out. So I don't have to get a good look at them. I'm gonna find me one of them things. That's gonna be probably my next kayak accessory. A monocular, a monocle. It's gonna drive me crazy not knowing what them things are called. But yeah, cell phone service out here, pretty spotty. At least with AT&T that I have anyway. I don't know about the other services, but AT&T leaves a lot to be desired out here. But we may give old Ryan Bortz a call today at some point. He's fishing I'm on Tennessee River. He's on Hoover Reservoir this morning. I was back and forth if I was going to go up there or not. I don't. So the Sandusky Bay tournament is this coming weekend. I'm filming this on a Friday. The Sandusky tournament's on a Sunday. And I was back and forth if I was going to go or not. I was really looking for any reason in the world to get out of going, because it's a 7-hour drive to go up there and catch channel cats. And what I thought I would do if I went would be to break up my trip. Instead of just driving 7 hours, going catching channel cats and coming home, I thought I would swing by, maybe go to Columbus, Ohio first, hit Hoover Reservoir, fish there, then go up to Sandusky, fish the tournament, then come back, hit Hoover again, and then drive home. That would break up my drive, and it wouldn't be just a trip for channel cats. But I looked at the weather report, and the weather here today, perfect, other than being miserable hot. Like the wind is going to be calm out here this morning. It's not going to pick up here until late morning, mid-afternoon. So I knew we were going to be able to come out here and be able to fish and drift and do our thing with no issues with the wind. However, if I went up there, the wind was going to be terrible on Hoover. And then tomorrow and Sunday, the wind's supposed to be terrible on Sandusky. And then the wind was going to be bad again on Hoover on Monday. And I'm like, I can go up there and fight the wind, or I can stay here at home. And, I was on a real good bite here the other day. I'm like, I'm just going to stay here. So Ryan was going to Hoover today. We may give him a call and see what he's doing. I hope that wind's a hurricane up there. Like, I hope he's struggling. So anyway, I'm not going to be fishing the Sandusky Bay tournament. I was back and forth on. I've been kind of burnt out on the tournaments. Not so much the tournaments themselves, it's just driving to them. And the weather for the tournaments this year is just, we've been unfortunate with the weather that we've had for some of them. It's been crap. And of course, all these tournaments are on a weekend, so there's tons of boat traffic and whatnot. And I just don't like fishing on the weekends. And that wind being up there on Sandusky Bay, I would obviously take my other kayak, the Hobie kayak with the motor, as we may get our first fish right here. We do. We get him on. Grab him. Let's grab him. Well, he's headed back, y'all. He's headed backwards. He just come off. We didn't want that in no way. Let's send that bait back down. That's a little one right there. I don't think he probably wasn't big enough to get the bait and the hook. Be nice to get the skunk out too, wouldn't it? What is that? Let's reel this back up. It don't feel right. What's going on with this? Boy, when the bait hit bottom, we foul hooked it there. I knew when I went to pick up on him, like, that don't feel right. I'm glad I caught that before we caught a fish with it and didn't have a hook sticking out. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, this area right here is where I finished up the other day and hooked my biggest fish of the trip. Had 3 fish on at the same time on 2 rods. Had the big one on that I ultimately broke off trying to land too quickly. And I reeled up the other one and it had 2 fish on it. I had one on the hook and one on the fly. So I'm curious, I wanted to start here in this area and just continue the drift downstream and see what we see. But yeah, Sandusky, man, I'd be up there in my other kayak. And that kayak just takes on water in rough conditions. In Sandusky Bay, you get the wind. They're calling for 15, 20 mile an hour winds all day long on tournament day. So you're going to have some chop out there. And I took on water last year and the conditions wasn't that bad until the end of the day. And so I'm like, I don't want to drive 7 hours. I wouldn't mind fishing Sandusky Bay for a day or two if I could split up the trip and fish somewhere else, like a Hoover Reservoir there for a couple days or something. Make like one road trip out of it and hit 2 bodies of water or something. But I don't want to go up there and deal with the damn wind and take on all that water, especially after I damn near sank that. Oh, that was a nice thump. This one's going to hook up for sure. This one's got it for sure, buddy. This one, we got fish number 1 here. Boy, it's took a little while today, y'all. We're 22 minutes in here to finally get a solid hookup, but for the half dozen Evians that have stuck with me, we got him. He ain't going to be no monster, but it's going to be he's bigger than I thought. It's a larger dink here, smaller fun size. He's fish number 1. He's a skunk buster is what he is. He thumped it hard. He needs to go ahead and give us that bait back. We got plenty, but that one there ought to be. Thus only having it drop down for 20 minutes and the other fish there just nipping a little bit, it should be still pretty good shape. What do you think about fish? You about done? He says, heck to the no. He's gonna knock himself out banging his head against the kayak like that. I'm gonna be careful grabbing my leader because he's got that fly up my line. Come here, act like somebody. I'm gonna drop that head bait back down. It's my best bait now, and you're tying up time with it, fish. I'm done with you now. He says he ain't done with me. He's gonna get my main line wrapped all around him now too, ain't he? Come over here, you ornery devil. There. Get on up in here. Yeah, I mean, that's a larger dink, I guess we'll call him. If he had acted like somebody, we might have given him a fun size category, but he didn't, so. Here, I'll do you a solid here, fish. I'll give you some front camera time since you fished number 1, and I'm happy to get you. Took you forever to bite. What took you so long? He had better stuff to do today, folks. That's what was happening. He had other stuff. He's got all kinds of appointments today. That's a busy fish. We're gonna drop this bait back down though, man. It should still be okay. We're not going to be, like I said, we're not going to be conservative today. No need to be with as much bait as I have, and the fact that I'm probably not going to fish tomorrow. Hold on, y'all. Look at this. Look at that. There we go. We got another one. We got another one. We're going through some fish here. Let's fix this bait back down and drop it down because we're going through some before we pick up on it. Okay, here, let's, well, if y'all was a fishing partner worth a damn, you'd grab that rod for me. Or lower this one down one. I can't get y'all to do anything. There we go, let's get that one lowered now. Let's pick this up. Okay, fish number 2. Let's go ahead and get him on the chunk. Business just picked up, y'all. It took a little while. Oh, we got a flathead. That's a flatty right there. Small one, but it's a flathead nonetheless. All right. Well, that's a nice little surprise. I did not catch any flatheads the other day. If I did, it must not have been a memorable one because I've blocked it from memory, but I don't recall getting any the other day out here. No, Flatty, don't be splashing like that. He got the bait, but I don't mind feeding a flathead like this. Come on. You ain't big enough for front camera time, Flatty, but I will hold you out like this and get you in the sun there, show everybody your colors. Look at that. Cute little devil, ain't you? Go home, go get big. Nice, that's a nice surprise. Oh, flathead. Let's get our bait here. I finally got back on skipjack in good numbers yesterday, so I tore them up. I probably kept more than I should have since I was just going to be fishing today. But I wanted to make sure if we got on another good bite like the other day, I wanted to make sure that we were going to be set on bait today without having to be real conservative or use tail pieces or scraps or anything like that. So yesterday it was raining. Well, I got on the water, it wasn't raining, and I wasn't catching any skips, and then it started raining. It come pretty good shower, and I was prepared for it. I had my rain jacket and my umbrella, so it didn't really affect me none. But when the rain started, the skips started biting. There's that. That's a chunk of skippy going down. Skipjack's all I got. I didn't get any white bass or any other types of fish there yesterday. So only skips for bait today, but we've got plenty. I don't know how many I ended up with, 10 or 12 probably, so plenty enough for our needs today. You're only fishing 2 rods. You just don't go through that many baits. And as we demonstrated there on that last trip, when you're on a good bite, 2 rods will keep you busy. I had a good day that day. When fishing during the spawn, my expectations change a little bit. I kind of shift my mindset from wanting to go out and expecting to catch big fish every day to mainly just expecting to get numbers of fish and hoping to kind of get lucky with a big one, because I do luck into some big fish every year during the spawn. But we had a good variety there on the last trip where we got several fish, but also had some better quality ones mixed in too. No monsters, didn't have any 50 plus pounders or anything, but we had enough to keep me entertained. I had a good time with it. And it's rewarding to fish a place that I'd never been before. It's been on the to-do list forever. So we got tapped again. Y'all looking right into the sun. I'm looking into the glare. I can't tell if he's got it or if he just hit it a little bit. He's still after it. My rod tip's moving. There it goes. He's got it now, don't he? He's got it. Nope, he just dropped it. I wasn't sure if that was possibly another flathead that was a light bite and was taking it over, or if that was just a dink. I'm inclined to believe it was a dink since he let it go. But yeah, to get rewarded on a place, to catch that many fish and that quality of fish at a place I'd never been before, it was pretty rewarding. And so I was excited to come back down here today. I wanted to just take a different path, if you will, to start where we left off and continue going on down. And there's another on downstream from here, and we may get to it today. I'm terrible at judging distances just by looking at it, but if we get down to the next bend, we will cross over to the other side of the channel and work that outside bend going down through there. This area, you can see that boat over there maybe coming. This is a river bend here, and so the other day we'd come out, we were upstream from here, and we drifted that outside bend down to up here where we started today. And so it kind of just continues on down, and then now the river goes back the other way, kind of an S shape through here, if you will, a wide S shape. It's not a sharp bend by any stretch, and of course it's very shallow. This section of the river, very shallow. We're 24 feet deep right now. And that's deeper than any water we fished the other day from what was upstream from here. So we hook a big fish today on short distance of line out, man. It's gonna be some massive takedowns as this rod over here gets tugged on again. He's after it. Does he got it for real this time? Nope. Tell that fish to leave it alone. You got a duty or get off the pot, fish. I ain't gonna let you chew that bait up. I'll switch it out. That's what he wants. He wants me to switch it out, so I'll throw it down there and give it to him. Yeah, coming back out here this morning, drag assing today. I should have been out here at dawn. I'm not. It's funny, I woke up this morning before the alarm. I woke up about 3 o'clock, miserably hot. Something new I've been doing lately, waking up around 3 o'clock in the morning, burning up. I think it has to do with Daphne, because she's like a inferno. But this fish just will not get that dang. He just won't get that bait, will he? Keeps messing with it. Has he got it? I think he's got it now. He's got it now, by gosh. Yeah, he's got it now. Took him long enough, didn't it? I wonder if this fish ain't foul hooked himself. He's been down there messing with that bait. I wonder if he didn't just accidentally roll into that hook. Y'all ain't gonna see it no way because you're looking right into the sun. You best get your shades on today. Yeah, he is foul hooked. He's got the circle hook in the back. Oh, looky here. Okay, he's ate the fly. He's got the fly in the mouth and the circle hook in the back. I wonder if he didn't eat the fly and then roll and then get the circle. What came first, chicken or the egg situation here? Oh, he just come free is what he did. Well, that's perfect right there, man. That went. We didn't even have to get our hands wet with that one. If all them little fish like that could be that courteous. That fish's mama raised it right. Most of these fish, most of them never even met their parents. Their parents are in jail, you know. They've been orphans and raised by the system, so they ain't really had no raising. But that one there it's probably his grandmother that raised it, truth be told. I'm gonna cut these fins off and we're gonna drop a new head down. He threw the head off, which that was fine. It was gonna be as many times as it had been hit. It was gonna be time to switch it out anyway. I'm gonna show you the graph here in a second. Look at all that mess right there on the graph. Oh, is that a fish? I thought I was hung. No, a fish hit it as soon as it went down. A fish hit me. We went over them fish I showed you there on the graph, and he hit this thing. I went to pick up on it. I thought I'd dropped it in some brush or something. But it was in a dang fish's mouth. How about that, buddy? That's a, what do you call that? Larger dink, smaller fun size? We just went over some fish right there. We went right over top of y'all, saw him on the screen, and he nailed it as soon as that bait went down. I'm honestly surprised the other rod didn't get hit. Boy, this is another one that just barely fought. Just barely fought. I don't know what's up with these fish. It must be due to the spawn or something. That's the only thing I can figure. He's gonna thrash around now, of course. Got a chance to get me all wet. That one's a female right there. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you out like catfish. It's you can call it what you want. Classify it however. There's another bite. We put it right in that one's mouth, man. That's one thing about these unedited, raw, and uncut videos. When something like that happens, like people can't say I staged the footage like it didn't really happen or something. Like y'all saw me drop that bait down and immediately had a fish on it. Well, it took a little while to get going this morning to get our first bite. But now, buddy, business is rolling here. Business is booming. I'm gonna rehook this head. Our fly's all jacked up there, that's fine. Send it back down. There's more fish right here under us, look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not looking into the sun. And we're drifting fairly quickly through here. We're 0.8 miles an hour. See it right there? That's some more fish right there along the bottom. We're still right here on this edge. 0.8, 24 feet deep here. Water temp 73. It's a little bit cooler up here, which is another reason why I finally made it down here to fish this spot the other day. I thought where I'm at, we might have some cooler water temperatures and maybe get some fish might have more fish that weren't on the nest possibly. But either way, man, things are going good so far. Yeah, I was trying to say before that fish interrupted, I've been going through a phase lately where I wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning just sweating, just burning up. And I did that again today. And I woke up and I was pretty awake, but then I looked at the clock and it was only 3. I was like, well, hell, it's just now the witching hour. And I was like, well, I'll just try to go back to sleep. So I threw all the covers off to try to cool off and went back to sleep. And then when the alarm did go off, I woke up just kind of groggy and tired. I should have just got on up at 3. We'd been out here on time and I'd be more spry and energetic today. Something about going back to sleep after you woke up, it just makes you more tired when you do wake up the next time. There's probably some science behind that. I don't know why I've been doing that though. Just be burning up in the middle of the night. It ain't like my house is hot or anything. It's just, I don't know. I blame the dog. Old Daphne the dog, buddy, she's, I call her my devil child, but she is a heating pad on you, and she will not get off of you. She's got to be touching you. If I move, she moves all night. Half the time I wake up crooked in bed. We're getting out here now a little bit deeper. Water, it's 26 feet deep. This is definitely the deepest of any of the water we fished the other day or today so far. The deeper we get, the more confident I become when it comes to suspending baits. Because again, when you're going right over the top of fish, that shadow is directly above them. I worry you're going to spook some. Now, obviously, we've caught enough fish. Well, of course, the other day it was cloudy. We weren't really putting off a shadow. But today, with the sun, I mean, it's just ain't a cloud in the sky. Not right now. It's bluebird skies. So we're most definitely putting off a shadow today. But yeah, I don't typically fish with suspended baits in less than 20 feet. But boy, when I do and I get bit, it's usually a good time. Some of these fish have been lackadaisical. They've been not very hard fighters, not had the takedowns that you would necessarily expect them to have, or even some of their size. Like, it's been, must have something to do with the spawn. You know, that's the only thing I can figure. They're just maybe tired from that. But normally, you get a big takedown with 20 feet of line out, buddy. You hang on to your drawers. Especially in the way I've got, not only being in this kayak that's more narrow, but the fact I got my rod holders positioned the way I do, where I'm where they're basically perpendicular going off the sides of the kayak. You get that lever action. When it pulls down over there, you get that kind of that tippy feeling, and it's pretty awesome. Nope. About to catch us another one right here. Maybe. They keep going to hit that rod that's right there in the glare from the sun. I'd like to say that glare is going to get better today, but unfortunately, with no clouds, it ain't gonna. You get your sunscreen and your shades on today, folks, because it's going to be that kind of day. It feels like a steam bath out here this morning with the humidity. We'll persevere through it, though, catching some fish, won't we? We should have been catching them for about an hour and a half before I actually got started. But we're making the most of it. This time of year, though, this is a productive technique. Get out and drift, cover water. Normally, I like to drift a little slower. We've got a little bit more current today. It's got us moving 0.8 right now, so that's water temps where they are. We're still going to get bit, but I typically like to go half a mile an hour or so. We will get plenty of action. As we got more action right here, he's wanting to swim off. He don't know he's got it yet. I think he just let it go. He's back on it. He's going to get it eventually. He's going to get the fly one. Y'all want to grab that rod? You think he's got it for real this time? I think he may have it this time. I don't think we want him to have it, but I don't think he's big enough to. No, he's gone now. Let's reel it up here. Make sure. Well, I about reeled it all the way to the guide, didn't I? Just want to make sure we didn't have a foul hook bait. I need to reel that other one in. It's weird that it ain't getting touched over there. Oh, another one hit it. Another one hit it as soon as it went down. Did you see that? I went to pick up on it and he hit it. That's twice now. That's twice, by gosh. I seen him there on the screen too. Blue. I mean, they let it hit bottom and go to pick up and he nailed it. Oh, he just come free too. Another quick release. Perfect. Perfect, man. If we could do that all day with these small ones, man, that would be ideal. Keep the big ones hooked up. Small ones, we'll reel them in, let them go right here at the surface, buddy. That would be perfect. I'm gonna reel this one in. I just wanna make sure we still got bait on here. With the fact that it ain't getting, yeah, we do. But that head though, that head's getting my action over there again. While we're reeling this one up. I think something's got it. Let's set this one back. Oh, he hit it. He foul hooked it. It may be about time to switch out and put a new head on, folks, because that in there's keeps getting. We'll see if we can get one more fish out of it there. We're gonna switch that out. Them dinks gonna get down there and just shred that thing. We could probably be down through here today just vertical jigging. I had done that video, man, it's been, how long has it been? 7 years ago, maybe? I think it was 2017. I got me some big jig heads with big hooks. Now I'd take a piece of cut bait, and I sit down there and was working a rock ledge with the hopes of putting it kind of down in some crevices there and hitting some flatheads. And I caught some flatheads doing that, but it wasn't a bite I could go out and replicate consistently, and I eventually lost interest in it. And today, though, with the two fish that have hit as soon as we've hit bottom, I bet you we could be jigging down through here and get some of them fish to bite. You know, my buddy Elias there from Elias V Fishing YouTube channel, when he come down and fished last year, so last year, year before, I can't remember. My days, I think it was last year. But we spent some time on Nickajack, and he loves doing that jigging technique. He's a saltwater fisherman, so that's what he likes to do. And he did that. I was catfishing more traditional methods, and he was doing that jigging technique. And he caught several catfish doing that. He got several cats, and he got some big drum doing that as well. So it's a technique that will work at times, certainly. Here's what I think I'm gonna do, y'all. The way the current's drifting us, pushing us here, I'm gonna turn us the other way. That way maybe that sun will be shining into our back instead of right into your all's. It's bad enough shining into your face, making a glare, but it's even worse when it's shining into my face. I'm gonna turn us around this way, and hopefully we'll drift the other way and not be looking in the sun the whole damn time. Let me get us spun, and then I'm gonna back us up over here, back up on this ledge. I'm watching the map card as we drift along here to kind of keep myself on that edge. I've had that graph jimmy rigged on for the last few catfish trips, just so we have a graph. That's my old graph, that Ray Marine 5-inch graph. I've had that thing forever now. And I've been just sticking it down there in that little opening there in front of my pedal drive, kind of getting it out of the way. But the thing is, having it there, if I'm anchor fishing, it's fine. because I just use it to get set up on the spot, drop anchor, and obviously I'm sitting there. Don't really have to look at the graph anymore. But drifting, kind of gotta just constantly monitor where I'm at on that ledge. As we get another tap. He's swimming with it. I think that's another one we don't want to catch though. He may have it. Let's just see him. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Oh, he's gonna take off now. He's gonna take off now. Oh, he come free. That was another one we didn't want to have. He got the bait though. He won in the end. But yeah, anyway, that graph, when I'm needing to see it constantly to monitor where I'm at on the ledge, having it down in that little cubby hole in front of my pedal drive, it's hard to see it with the butt end of my rods going over there. So I wanted to raise it up. So I've put it on a little ram mount right there, a little ram ball and ram mount, so to kind of raise it up above this other rod holder so we can kind of see it a little better as we drift along. I don't know that I'm going to like it there all the time, because when I'm ultralight fishing and stuff, I'm left-handed, so I'm casting like that, and I don't know. I usually don't use a graph when I'm ultralight fishing out of this kayak, and so I don't know if it's going to possibly get in the way right there. It may not. I don't know. It may not be there the next time we fish in this kayak, is what I'm getting at. I'm not 100% satisfied with the location. I've been going to permanently mount that thing for a long time and just never got around to it, mainly because I can't figure out exactly where I want to put it. And most of the time I just don't really need it. But we do need it today. That's one thing, if you're going to drift, or if you're going to troll with suspended baits, you know, if we didn't have any current out here this morning, we'd be just trolling, using the pedals to move our... I just knocked them jig heads off there, didn't I? So here's our next head bait going down. But if you're drifting, your depth's going to be changing constantly. I mean, this area through here is pretty consistent in depth, but some places you're going to have depth changes, and you're going to need to either raise or lower your baits, or else you're either going to be out of the strike zone or you're going to be snagged. And so if you can't see your depth changing, you're just in the blind. I don't like being in the blind. Nobody does. Unless you're Daredevil, that superhero, he's blind. I think ain't he blind and deaf? Or no, he ain't deaf. I think he's just blind. There was a Daredevil movie years ago Ben Affleck played. Ben Affleck has now been Daredevil and Batman and sucked at both of them. I was never a fan of Daredevil in the comic books when I was a kid. He never really done it for me. Don't know why, I just never did. I don't know that I even ever had a Daredevil action figure as a kid. And I had a lot of them superheroes, but I don't think I had Daredevil. But anyway, I don't know how the hell I got on that, but I was talking about that graph. If you're going to drift, you need a graph. It don't have to be a fancy one. It can be a small basic unit like I got here, to something to show you your depth and your speed. And if you got access to a map card, like that one's got an old Navionics card in there, that's very helpful too if you're fishing somewhere where Navionics is accurate. If you're on the Ohio River, Navionics is useless. But Tennessee River, it's, at least the places I fished with it, it's been pretty good, pretty accurate in most places. So that's very helpful too. But a basic graph, I mean, I had gosh, for years I drifted with just my old videos, people's been with me forever. If you go back and look at the old playlists from like 2016, 2017, man, I've got just a little 4-inch black and white Lowrance, and I caught a ton of fish. But I would just use it to monitor the depth, raise and lower my baits as needed. And you keep your baits on these ledges, especially how we're doing today, right on that break line, right as it starts to come up on the edge. Man, you cover enough water, you're gonna get bit. Now you're gonna have dry spells. You're gonna go periods of time where they just either, they ain't no fish there, or maybe you're going through some fish and they're just not active or something. But you're also gonna hit those schools too that are actively on the move. You're gonna put your baits right in their face and you're gonna have every rod going down. If you got 2 rods like we got today, you're gonna be doubled up. If you're in a boat and you got 6 or 8 rods, you may have all of them go down at once. So it's just covering water is what it boils down to. It becomes a time on the water thing. I'm feeling pretty good about how things are going this morning as far as numbers goes. I'm hoping we stumble into some better quality though, like last trip out. Got the chunk eat finally. That may be a little, oh, he just come off too, didn't he? He just come off. Let's make sure he didn't get our bait. He got our bait. I can tell he got our bait. That fish stole from us. We've been robbed. One of you's called the cops. If we got enough cell phone service, call the cops. I want to file a complaint on that fish stealing from us like that without even letting us reel him in. They can have, we got plenty of bait. Like, they can have the baits today. I just want to make sure that we get the fun of pulling them in. And I don't think that's asking a lot. Let's see if I can get my line there. Put us another chunk on. I ought to cut that top fin off, but I ain't gonna fool with it because I don't think that bait's gonna be down there long before it's got a fish on it. Down it goes, 22 feet deep right now. Yeah, I had a damn boat behind us here. I was like, what the hell is that coming up on us? It's a bass fisherman. Didn't even see him. Snuck up on me like a, I don't know what. If it was a snake, it had me. Had my back turned, I guarantee they've been staring at me the whole time. Bunch of rude asses. I guarantee they have been. That's where I need my monocular. Flip that thing out and just stare right back at them. Y'all think I won't do that. I promise you I will. If I get a hold of one of them things, I'm gonna do it. I gotta figure out what they're called first. I know they have a name for them. I just don't know what it is. Pretty sure like deer hunters use them. I think they might even make some for golfers too. I'm gonna get me one. Where did them guys come from? I guess they back in this little slough or something here, this creek. They snuck up on me though. I didn't even know they was there. I heard the water slapping the hull. If it was a snake, it had me. Yeah, we're gonna try to catch us a few fish this morning. We need to call Ryan at some point. If we can get enough cell service. Let me see how many bars we got right now. I want to call his ass today. I got 2 bars right now. It may be sufficient to do a video call. It'd make his dreams come true to be on this video. That's why he wanted me to come up there so bad. It wasn't because he just wanted to fish with me. He wanted to try to get on video because his only chance of getting some views on his YouTube channel is through me, and he knows it. I told him, I was like, hell, up there on Hoover, Chris Minaham's going to be fishing up there too. I said, you guys are going to be pulling them damn planer boards. That's what all the people up there on Hoover do. They're all pulling boards. I said, hell, we won't be. We ain't going to be able to talk. I ain't going to be able to put you on video because you're going to be a half mile away just to have distance between them boards and all. I feel like if you're going to put somebody else on video that you're fishing with, it's easy if you're in a boat, obviously, because you're sharing the same boat space. But for kayak purposes, I think it's kind of got to be like, I think you need to be anchored and kind of sitting real close to each other. Like maybe you're on the tip of a point and you're anchored, or recent trips there where I'd fished with him and him and Daniel, be anchored in a creek mouth. That way we're within earshot, because even if you put a microphone on somebody, you still need to be close enough to where you and that person can converse, because you don't want to be yelling the whole time, especially when you have microphones on. Nobody wants to hear that on the other end of the internet watching the video. But they'll be up there pulling them boards this morning. I want to get up there, man. I want to fish Hoover. Like Sandusky, I could care less about. I wouldn't mind spending a day there, but I don't want to make a trip specifically just to fish Sandusky. I mean, don't get me wrong. The channel cats there are better than the channel cats here by a country mile. I mean, there are some big channel cats up there, and they fight hard. And if channel cats are your thing, you'll have a lot of fun on Sandusky because there's a million of them. But y'all know me, I just don't give a diddly poo-poo about channel cats, even if they are big ones. So I'd do it for a day. I don't want to do it for multiple days. Plus there's snakes everywhere up there. I've never seen so many snakes in my life as what I saw last year at Sandusky. I mean, everywhere you went, there was just snakes. On the edge of the water, swimming across the water. I tried carp fishing up there one day. And I'd pulled up on the bank, and I had to leave. There were so many damn snakes. I'm like, I can't do this. One of them's going to get me. And there's dead fish everywhere. Channel cats and drum are floating all over the place. They wash up on the shore. It stinks everywhere. Like it must be a harsh environment for them. But with that said, I do want to get up to Ohio to fish on Hoover. Now, we have a tournament coming up on Hoover. And again, it's kind of one of them situations. I want to go fish Hoover, but I don't really give a damn about the tournament per se. Now, if conditions are looking good on tournament day, I'll probably go. But otherwise, I do want to go up there and just fish because, I mean, I had a good time last year fishing on Hoover, and there's some big blue cats in there. There's allegedly big flatheads too, although I didn't catch any. None of us in the tournament last year caught any flatheads as this rod's slowly going down. He's still got it, slowly taking it down. You think he's got it permanent? I think you let it go. Let's pick up on it, make sure we still got bait. No, he's back on it. I guess we do still have bait. I think he's got it now. That line's swimming fast now. Watch this line. Watch this. Watch that. Hey, boy, he's spinning the whole kayak, buddy. We're sleigh riding here. He's spinning the whole dang kayak around, man. That's fun, buddy. He's going to drag us off this ledge, too. Oh, Oh, he's gonna take a little line now. Okay, I told you folks, man, it's a good time on the short line. It don't take a huge fish to take you on a sleigh ride. And I don't think this one's gonna be huge, but I mean, this one's actually fighting appropriately. This is the biggest one of the morning right here. This is a fun sizer. Definitely the biggest one of the morning so far. Yeah, we're gonna tire this one out a little bit. This one here's got some energy. He's fighting appropriately for his size. Oh boy, oh Lord. We could have done without that fish. That was uncalled for. Very uncalled for. Yeah, we're gonna finish tiring this one out in a minute. We're on your schedule today, fish. You just do your thing. Yeah, it's a little better one right there, man. That's got some. This one's actually, most of these fish lately, just I guess the spawn time of year, they've been kind of skinny for their size. This one here's got some weight to it for its size. Not a huge fish or anything, but I mean it is a fun sizer. I gotta try to spin us around here, y'all. This fish is, he's turned us every which way. I need to get us back on this ledge here best I can so that our other bait's in position as we move along, because this one is gonna take a minute. I don't wanna rush him and do like I did that last fish there at the end of the last trip, and I ended up snapping him off trying to get him in quick before my camera battery died. I don't use a net in the kayak. I think they're just too big and cumbersome. We get snagged on everything. I just like to land my fish by hand, so I do have to take my time with them to make sure I don't do like I did on that last trip where I got my line, I've got a firm grip on my line, he surges or tries to roll. Like that's when you're at the biggest risk of your line having a malfunction. And so it's best to kind of play them out a little more. It's best to try to grab your leader if you can, because your leader line's stronger than the main line in this situation. I got 40-pound main line, 80-pound leader. So if we can get a hold of a leader, then we're less likely to snap that 80-pound. This fish here ain't really big enough to break my line regardless, but I'm just saying, you know, if you do have a big one on, okay, now we got hold of him here. Here, y'all set up here while I land this thing. There we go. Come on in, fishy. Come on in. Oh, we need to get spun around here, don't we, fish? Let's get this hook out of you. We need to get spun around so we can get some decent picture with you. We got the light behind us, fish. You spun me the wrong way. Here. Let's we need to back off this ledge a little bit anyway. Bear with me a minute, y'all. This fish, he was just driving. He wasn't paying attention where he's going. He got us all every which way here. We'll get him into the sun here. We can actually see something. All right. There we go. Nice. That's the biggest one of the morning. A little weight there for its size, so nice. Business picked up. That was a good time. When it first, and it may have been, get out of here, fish. It was first hitting it there, I thought maybe it was a dink, and it could have been. It could have been a dink. And then the dink was messing with it, and that fish come along and snatched it. That's possible. We'll never know, obviously. But when that one hit it, buddy, I saw my line swimming and then the rod went down, and next thing you know, the kayak's spinning around. That's fun. That's a good time. That's really why I love kayak fishing right there. Y'all got something on the lens here. Let me take care of that for you. It's like wiping a kid's mouth off, ain't it? That's what I got to do for you here to keep you watching. Y'all won't clean that lens off yourself. Well, let's cut another one, why don't we? I will cut that fin off there because it's got the spike hanging off of it. But I tell you what, man, I don't know how many fish we're at now. But I mean, I feel like we're getting bit all the way down through here. Like it's a pretty active morning. I was a little concerned with just the being a sunny day, conditions being different than when we were out here a few days ago, that it may change the bite a little bit. And thus far, I mean, we're getting the numbers. We haven't gotten the quality yet that we got the other day, but that last fish there was an upgrade for sure. So, morning is young. Down it goes. Back in the rod holder. And we're still on the move. Make sure, yeah, we still look pretty good. I'll show you here on the graph again if I can. I know it's hard with the sun and the glare, but you can kind of see we're right here on the edge. And I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, I've talked about it in a million videos, but it's so important. So when you see, I don't know how well we can see here with the rod in the way and all that, but these dark contour lines that are close together, that signifies a rapid change in depth. So that's that shoreline right there coming off real steep angle down here. And then it kind of levels out all the way across the river here. You can see the depth here. You don't see all them contour lines. Why? Well, because the depth's pretty consistent all the way across till you get to the other side, and then it'll come up real steep again. Right there's a fish too, by the way, on the ground. So we just want to work that edge. In a world where everything's the same, fish what's different. And what's different here is the shoreline, this edge. So these fish oftentimes cruise up and down through here. So when we're drifting, or if we were trolling, if we didn't have current, that's where we would want to focus, because that's going to be the path they're going to take as they move along and work up and down river and go spot to spot and work in and out of these creeks and pockets and sloughs and stuff. So if you can just put your baits in the path that those fish are already on as they're active and moving, well, of course you're going to get bit. So, yeah, we're getting some good numbers today already. Several fish here in the first, well, we've been out here now just a little over an hour, so yeah, things are moving right along. I do think, though, we're going to end up, it looks like we've covered this much water already. I think we're going to end up crossing over to the other side of the channel and working that outside bend down through here. At some point soon we'll cross over, because it's right down here. It looks like past that last dock. I don't know if you can see it or not. It looks like it starts to bend to the left. So I definitely prefer to be on the outside bend. We could go on over there right now. We're getting bit right here. We just got that other big fish there a minute ago. We'll go down just a little bit further on this. Maybe let's just go past this. I honestly don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's a creek or cove or what. There's an opening here. Having not fished here, I don't really know what it is. We'll fish past it anyway. Maybe down a little bit further if we're still getting bit, and then we'll cross over. And just like that. Well, something nipped it. It's one of those right there that nipped it too. Look at this. 1, 2, that's right there's probably another fish. May not be all cats, but there's definitely some fish there under us. But yeah, man, this is my favorite way to fish in the summer months. It's productive, it's fun. You do it long enough, you do catch some big fish doing this. And I just, like I said there in that last trip, that last video, I just like doing this. It's my favorite way to fish. Even if it's not always the most productive. Boy, okay. He's gonna swim with it, buddy. He's gonna swim with it. We got us another one here right in front of this pocket or creek or whatever. But I mean, there's days where suspend fishing's not gonna be your best technique for numbers or size. But if I can catch them suspended on a particular day, that's what I wanna do. Unless I'm in a tournament and I have to go out and try to get the biggest fish possible. If I'm just fun fishing, this is what I wanna do because it's the most fun. Oh, look. There was a second fish come up. He's still right there. Oh, that fish is gonna flop around. There was another fish that come up with this one. I don't know if y'all saw it or not. This rod over here is getting hit now. That one's going down. We're doubled. I don't see that other one that come up with this one. He come up with it side by side with it though. That was awesome. Okay, we're clearly on some fish here. I'm glad we didn't just cross over a second ago. We may need to sit here a second. This one here ain't gonna be as big as that other one, I don't believe. We'll see if he's got a friend with him. Don't see any with this one. Well, we gotta get rid of these fish quick, because we don't have any. The downside of not having but 2 lines is that when you double up, you don't have any baits down there, and we're clearly on some fish because that other one had the friend that come up that was every bit as big as he was. And the other one's definitely bigger than this little dinkity doodah here. Let's do this. I wanna, before we land this one, I wanna go ahead and let's just cut another skip and drop this other bait down before we land this one. And once we get it landed, I'm gonna just try to slowly pedal us back upstream against the current, because we nailed these fish right here in front of this opening, whatever it is, creek or pocket, whatever. That makes me excited when they come up fighting over a bait like that. The last fish there in the last video, I had 2 on the hook. One on the cut bait hook, one on the fly. And you see that, especially in the summertime. I've had several videos where I've had fish I've had 2 fish on one hook before, because they'll just be aggressively fighting over the baits. It's crazy, but they're just so active this time of year. I guess just water temps, metabolism, all that, like, it's just, it's amazing. So we got that bait back down. We'll go ahead and get this one ready here. We'll land this other one here and we'll be back in business, man. I definitely want to just make another little pass through here though. Right here in front of this thing. We're already hooked up on that rod that we just dropped back down. We've already got another one on. Let's go ahead and try to land this one. He ought to be tired out. This in here ought to be tired out. We'll drop another bait down while we reel that one in. Boy, if y'all's a fishing partner worth a damn, y'all will be reeling in that fish while I fool with this one. Here, set up here a minute, why don't you? Set up there a minute. We gotta get y'all out of the way so I can see something here. This ain't a bad one right here now. This is another female. I can tell because it's got a smaller mouth. Unlike humans, usually female humans usually have a bigger mouth than men because they always smart mouthing us men folk, telling us what to do and all. I'll catch some grief over that comment. But in the catfish world, the smaller mouths, the females have the smaller mouths. So that's one way. If you catch a blue like this one that's got a significantly smaller mouth for its head size, you pretty much know it's a female. Oh, I put that hook in your tail then, fish. I got it out of your mouth and I put it in your tail. There we go. Yeah, fun size right there. Small fun size. Got the sun behind you, fish. I'm sorry. I ain't got time for you, fish. We got to catch your friends now. That fish knows. That fish says us human men treat female fish like we treat female women. We get rid of one, we on to the next. I'll catch some grief for that comment too. I don't have a very large percentage of my audience that's female. It's a very small percentage, but I somehow manage all 10% of them. I managed to piss off on the regular. I can make the dumbest, most benign joke about women, and one of the 10 women who watch my videos will inevitably comment and let me know that I'm an asshole. Now, I can't deny it, I am. All right, we got both baits. Oh, I forgot we got this one on over here. I'm like, well, we got both baits down, we back on the move. Yeah, we got this other one on I done completely forgot about. He swam out over this way. He done give up. He said, I'm gonna go over here and find somebody that'll, oh, this one, boy, this one, look right here. This one's bigger than I thought. This is the biggest one of the morning. This is a good one. Had no idea. No idea whatsoever. He's been fighting the rod holder the whole time. He knows it now, buddy. He's been fighting the rod holder while we've been doing everything else, because I can't get y'all to do anything for me. Look there, he just crapped his pants too. You see all that? He just crapped his pants here live on camera. You talk about catching some grief. This fish is going to never hear the end of that. Fish, you've done embarrassed yourself in front of God and everybody. You've done gone and done it, fish. Yeah, I definitely feel like I've made the right decision by fishing here instead of driving to Ohio. I'll let Ryan and Chris fight that wind today up there, and we'll sit here in calm conditions and keep catching fish like that right there, man. That's a good one. I'm gonna set y'all up here. We're gonna go back through this area again right here, buddy. We got on some fish right here. Okay, I gotta be careful where this hook's at. This is the biggest one of the morning. This is a good one right here. This is a good one. There you go, fish. Here's what I want to do. Let me use my hands here and pedal us, try to spin us around toward the sun so I can get a decent picture with this fish. Pro tip 101. You're taking pictures, look into the sun. Okay, look at this, buddy. This is a slob. Check that out. I had no idea it was that big, man. The whole fight was spent fighting the rod holder there while we were doing other things because I can't get y'all to help me. Man, look at that, y'all. That's a nice one. Nice fish. We went through a pile of them right there, though. Right there in front of that opening. We're about to, before I drop this bait back down, I'm gonna reel that one up. We're gonna go through it again. Nice. I'm telling you folks, just cause it's summertime, the spawn's going on, don't necessarily mean that you can't get some big fish. Get on out of here. We liable to hook a monster today, y'all. We're liable to, man. I'm getting more optimistic by the second that it's gonna happen. I mean, we may just, you know, I was gonna switch over to the other side, get that outside bend, but I mean, hell, if we're catching fish like that and just wrecking them right here, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the saying I'm trying to get out. Let's reel this one up. Let's go. We're just gonna pedal back up here before we drop that other bait down. I wanna go right through them again. My other kayak, of course, has the motor, GPS function. So in that situation, if we were in my other kayak, I would hit the spot lock and we would sit there on them fish until they quit biting, and then we'd get on the move. And this kayak here obviously don't have that luxury. So you kind of gotta, it's not the most efficient thing, is I guess what I'm getting at. But what I hope people will take from that is the fact that you don't need that stuff. Is the motor and GPS function, is it a helpful tool? Sure. Do you have to have that stuff? No, hell no. I mean, we've caught a bunch of fish down through here today already with a basic kayak, 2 rod holders, 2 rods. So, I worry about that kind of thing when I'm in my other kayak, the fact that I have the motor and the live scope and 4 rods and, you know, all these fancy gadgets and stuff. And it's like, you know, obviously I want that stuff for fishing tournaments and whatnot, but I worry sometimes I'm sending the wrong message to people, especially new people that's getting into the sport. I'm sending a message that they need that kind of stuff, and in reality you don't. Now, it does give you a competitive advantage if you have it and you're in a tournament, but a day like today where we're just fun fishing, I mean, and most of you out there, most people's getting in the sport don't give a damn about tournaments. You know, you fish for fun. Fish for the sport of it. So who cares if you got all them extra gadgets, maybe you catch 2 or 3 more fish, maybe 5 more fish over the course of a day. Who cares, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and you're having fun. It don't matter outside of a tournament. So I hope days like today where I'm in this kayak, and I love fishing on this kayak. This is my favorite. Of all the kayaks I've had through the years, this one's my favorite. And it's my most basic setup. And so I hope that will be encouraging when you see me have days like today where I catch a lot of fish. I hope it'll be encouraging to the new people getting into the sport to, you know, see me in a setup like this and think, well, maybe I don't need all that stuff, and don't feel pressured to go out and buy all that extra stuff, spend all that extra money, or just to get a kayak that's so damn big that because you have to have a big kayak to put all that motor and your battery and all that stuff on there. I mean, you need a kayak that's got the weight capacity to handle it. So you get a kayak that big and it takes away some of the fun of actually kayak fishing, which for most people, again, what do you want to do? You want them to have fun, right? Like, that's the goal. Have the most fun. So anyway, that's a long-winded spiel, but when I have really productive days in this setup with 2 rods, I feel better about it. It's kind of I don't know, a moral victory for myself, I guess, in a way, just to kind of prove that you don't need all that stuff, and you definitely don't need a boat and planer boards and 15 rods and all that. I mean, I don't want to tell you, I don't want you to think that having a motor ain't nice. There's a lot of situations where it is really, really nice having that motor. If you got to cover a lot of distance, if you're fishing really deep and you're going to be anchor fishing, it's so much easier to spot lock than it is to drop a physical anchor and rope down. So, I mean, there are situations, certainly, where having them tools are really, they're luxury items, but that's what they are. They're luxury items. They're not necessities. They're luxury items. But if you're fishing in the tournament scene and you don't have that stuff, you are at a competitive disadvantage, because the other guys are going to be able to, I mean, if we were out here in a tournament today, it would have been really helpful to spot lock over them fish when we got on. Now, I wouldn't be doing this technique today. If we were in a tournament, I would be dragging today, having my baits behind me, just for the potential that we would be spooking fish that we go over in the sun. I'd be dragging today, going against the current. And we may not, we'd probably get comparable number of bites, but I think, you know, we might have a better chance at that monster fish dragging out here versus suspending today. Not that we can't get a monster fish suspending today, that's certainly a possibility. Anytime you got a bait in the water, you got a chance at that, but the difference is, with me fishing for fun today, I want to fish like this because this is more fun. But if it was a situation where you said, Justin, I want you to fish this stretch of the river and you've got to go out today and catch the biggest fish possible, I'm probably going to drag. Take the same line, but I'm going to drag going up this ledge against the current. It's what I would do. And dragging's fun, but it ain't like this kind of fun. So, anyway, enough of that crap. We're on the move again. We've got both lines down. We're drifting. We're right here in front of this, whatever the heck it is. Could be a creek, could be just an area, cove. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. We just know there was some fish staged up out here in front of it. They may not be here now. They may have moved on. We may have caught that whole school potentially. I think, and this is more opinion than fact, but I think in the summer months, just based on my experience fishing all these years, you get little clusters of fish, if you will. Like, instead of you won't have a school of necessary, you won't have like a school of 30 fish. You might have a pod of 4 fish, 6, 8, 10 fish. You go a stretch, nothing, boom, here's some more fish, just a cluster of them, just a small cluster. Go another stretch, you find another. You don't have those massive schools necessarily. So, you know, if you go through an area and you catch 4 or 5 fish, go back up, you go through it again, you don't get anything, it's possible that you caught them all. And any fish maybe you didn't catch, they saw their buddies getting reeled in, thrashing around, and they scatter. So there's a couple marks there on the screen, though. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll kind of just pedal just a little bit here. I'm gonna pedal into the current just very lightly, and we're just gonna just kind of hang out here for a second in front of this. Let our scent go downstream in front of us and see what happens. And if we get bit, great. If not, well, we'll just continue on our drift. Well, I think we're going to continue on this path for a little while, though. Y'all about had me talked into switching over to the other side of the channel, and I'm glad I talked you out of it, because we wouldn't have got them fish that we just got. You just damn near twisted my arm to go ahead and move over there. I heard you through the camera. Thankfully, one of us has some sense around here, and I decided to continue on doing what we were doing, and we got all them fish. But we're gonna stay on this path here until we stop getting bit. It's gonna be the new plan. I want to spend just a little time right here. Let's see what happens. Spot lock, again, nice luxury item. Is it needed? No. I mean, we can sit here and just pedal very lightly and hold ourselves in place. The argument against really putting the motor and all that on your kayak, aside from the price, if somebody's brand new getting into the sport, you're on a limited budget, obviously a motor with the GPS functions, you're looking at $1,200, $1,300. You're going to want to get a lithium battery for it to save on weight, because you're putting all that weight from the motor on the kayak, so you want to save weight anywhere you can. So lithium battery, there's another few $100. So I mean, you're looking at a lot of extra costs, but aside from that, you're adding a lot of weight. So you add weight, you need a bigger kayak to handle the weight, but you've also got to figure out how you're going to handle that extra weight. Do you have a trailer to haul your kayak? You put it in the back of a truck. You know, getting on and off the water, or can you back it, even if you have a trailer, can you back it down into the water like a boat launch? Or do you have to drag your kayak up a muddy riverbank or something to get up to the road? Like, you got to think about all that stuff. And so the more weight you add on your kayak, or even the motor, you can take it off, but you're going to have to make more trips down from your car to the water. It's just something to think about. And in my experience, and this is just my opinion, mainly just because personally how I am, I know how I am. The bigger the barrier for me to do something, the less likely I am to do it. So the more simple and basic you keep your kayak and your setup, the easier it's going to be for you to get it on and off the water. And that usually means you're more likely to go and use it. If you're in a situation where you've got to unload your kayak off your truck or your trailer, drag it down a steep, muddy riverbank, go back up the bank, get your gear, bring it down, go back up, get your cooler, bring it down. If you got a motor and battery and all that, make trips to get that. Then when you're done fishing at the end of the day, you got to repeat the process in reverse, taking it all back. Like, if you got to go through all them steps, if it's a day where maybe the weather's looking questionable, or maybe you're just tired, or you get off work and you got a few hours of daylight and you kind of want to go fishing, but maybe you got other stuff to do. If you've got to go through all that hassle just to get on and off the water, what's the likelihood that you're going to go on those days? A lot less than what it's going to be if you're in a basic setup that you can just 2 minutes be on and off the water, right? So that's another thing to consider. It's what kind of trouble you're going to have to go through. Now, if you're somewhere, and out here on Tennessee River, just for instance, we got a lot of boat ramps. And so usually, in my other kayak, listen, if I ain't got a boat ramp, I ain't fishing in it. But I'll just back it into the water and launch it like a boat, just wet launch it. That's super simple, even with the motor and all that. You know, it doesn't take me any extra time. So if you're in a situation like that, well, it's not necessarily as big a deal. You just, as long as you can cover the cost and are willing to deal with the extra expense and stuff. But it's just something you gotta, it's gonna vary person to person depending on how you're fishing, where you're fishing, what you want out of the kayak fishing experience and all that. Me, I got into kayak fishing because I like fishing out of a kayak. A lot of the people now coming into the kayak catfishing scene coming from the boating world, I think a lot of them are coming into it because it's a cheaper alternative. Now I know, listen, you got an expensive kayak and a motor and a lithium battery and your graphs and all that. Like you can, I mean, there's some people that's got $10,000 kayak setups these days. There really are. I mean, if you got 10 grand to spend on a kayak, I promise you there's a kayak dealer willing to take your money and rig you out the nicest tricked out kayak possible. But let's say you spend, if you're coming from the catfish boating world and you spend 5 grand on a kayak, the money you're going to save on gas in the first couple years of not running an outboard, hell, that's going to cover the cost of your kayak. I mean, really, when you think about how much, obviously you can go buy you a John boat. You can get on Craigslist or Marketplace and find you an old John boat, a 1987 flat bottom aluminum with an old outboard motor and probably a trolling motor and graph and all that for a couple $1,000, right? That's the argument I get all the time from people. Like, well, am I going to buy a kayak? I can buy a boat for that. You can, but you're not necessarily going to get a nice, you ain't getting a big fancy Sea Arc for that price. And if you get that old John boat and you buy the old motor with it, you're probably going to have to do some work on that motor at some point. Are you capable of doing that? Maybe you are. I'm not. I'd have to pay somebody. So there goes money in maintenance, repairs. You got to put gas and oil in that thing. That costs money. You probably ain't pulling that John boat with a car, most likely. So you're going to have a tow vehicle. That's extra money on gas and all that. And so I tell you, man, you factor in the cost of your motor maintenance, the cost of your fuel, your oil, the extra gas money you spend on a tow vehicle, the extra insurance cost of the tow vehicle. And suddenly, that cheap boat ain't so cheap anymore. Your kayak cost is fixed. This kayak here, for instance, my pedal kayak, this is, I think it's around, I think they're like $3,000 if you buy a new one of this kayak here. I promise you though, you get you one 2 or 3 years old on Marketplace, you're going to save $1,000, $1,500 on the price. And once you got it, what I put on here, I got 2 rod holders, so there's $40. And that graph up there, you can get you any cheap graph. You get on eBay or Marketplace, get you a graph like that, probably $100. And once you've done that, you're set. We're gonna get on the move here. We ain't catching nothing just sitting here in front of this creek, so we're gonna get back on the drift. But like, there's no more money to be put in once you've got it. So, you know, I've had this kayak now. I got this one in, I think it was 2021. I think it was summer of 21. I got this kayak. So 3 years ago, basically now. I'm pretty sure it was summer 21 or 22. It was 21 because this is a 2021 model kayak. I've put $0 into it in the last 3 years. $0. Like there's no maintenance, the pedal drive, no maintenance. There's nothing to be done to it. Like it's like the cost is fixed. And a kayak like this, I mean, if you get a good quality kayak, it's going to last you for years and years. And I ain't trying to sell you Old Town, but like this particular model that I'm in today, the hull has a lifetime warranty. The pedal drive's got a 5-year warranty. So, I mean, you're not out anything. Whereas that John boat you get, do the math on that 5 years. If you fish in that John boat as much as I fish in my kayaks, buddy, you're putting some gas in that thing. You are putting some oil in it. You're gonna have to do some maintenance on it. Like the tab keeps rolling the whole time you own that boat. So you may save a little money initially, but you're going to pay a lot more in the long run, is what I'm getting at. So I know people argue with me on that kind of thing, because I've heard that so many times. It's, why am I going to spend $5,000 on a kayak when I can get me a John boat for $1,500, $2,000? We're on the move and now we're getting hit. Boy, that's a nice slow takedown, ain't it? Nice slow takedown. Oh, now he's gonna pull. Boy, and I see them slow takedowns like that, buddy. That's that puts the tingle in your dingle right there, man. Slow takedown like that, when you go to pick up on it, you don't know what you're gonna have. That's another fun sizer though. I'm like, is that a flathead? Is it a big blue? Like, you don't know till you pick up on it. I don't think this is, I saw that hook. It's kind of in the skin of the mouth. Oh, Lord, don't get me wet here, fish. It don't feel too bad, but I don't like that initial splash. It's miserable hot today, so. Thankfully, I got my DJI camera. It ain't gonna overheat on us like the damn GoPro does. The GoPro would have done shut down 36 times by now. I'd have done give up filming with it. I'm gonna play him out a second here. We had a little dry spell, but I was pretty much sitting still there while I was telling my story. Maybe these fish want a bait that's on the move. Maybe that's possible. You have days like that. Some days they want it sitting still, some days they want it moving. Case by case basis. All right, fish, you about done? He don't know if he is or not. I don't know if he is or not, but we're gonna try to land him so we can get us another bait down. Come here, fish. All right now. Yeah, it's another right here that's, I'm gonna set you back up here a second. It's another one that's fun size range. Oh, we're not gonna land him. Or not, well, we might. This one's actually hooked. I don't know if you can see this on the video. He's hooked through the top of the eye. You about put your eye out with that thing, fish. I thought he was hooked in the skin of the mouth, but it wasn't. It was the skin of the eye socket. Like Ralphie, fish, you're gonna shoot your eye out with that thing. Lord, fish, we about blinded that poor fish there. He got lucky. Well, let's drop that bait back down. We're gonna stay on the move. Maybe that's, I wanted to set up there. Just give it a minute. See if we could get some more fish to come to us, but nothing the whole time. And then as soon as we get back on the move, we're bit again, so. We'll just stay on the move. Matters not to me. I just want to get bit. That's all I'm asking for. Get that old tail out there. They can have it. Yeah, to kind of hammer that point home one more time, like, the argument they always make is, well, I can buy that John boat for less than I can buy a kayak. And I hate the argument because, one, they're wrong, because they're not factoring in the actual cost of ownership. They're only factoring in the cost of purchase, not the cost of ownership. The other thing I hate about that argument, and it makes no damn sense, but again, you can't reason with people, because you try talking to stupid people, you get dumber, they don't get smarter. I've said that before, but the other thing about their argument that it just don't work is they're comparing apples and oranges instead of apples to apples. They're comparing a 1980 model John boat to a brand new top of the line kayak fully rigged out. Like, yes, a 1980 model John boat with a 1978 two-stroke motor and the original Minn Kota ever is going to be less than a brand new, fully tricked out kayak, absolutely. But instead of comparing the 1980 model John boat to a brand new kayak, why don't you compare the 1980 John boat to a 5 or 10 year old kayak that you can get with accessories? You start comparing those prices. I promise you, I could get on Marketplace today. I could find you a quality used kayak, get you years of use out of for under $1,000. So you do an apples to apples comparison. You go old boat to old kayak, you're going to come out way ahead on the kayak price. If you want to compare a brand new the best kayak on the market, whatever brand you choose that to be, deck it out, motor, electronics, put you a nice cooler, put everything in it. The most expensive decked out kayak you can build. Compare that to your top of the line Sea Arc and tell me the difference in price on that. You're going to save 50 grand minimum on the kayak, even though it's fully rigged out, decked out. So, like, that's why I just think the argument is just dumb. Every time somebody wants to debate me on that, I'm like, I've give up even trying. Especially when you're in like a YouTube comment box or social media post. Like, it's not even worth having the conversation because I'm just going to get dumber and I'm not going to be able to explain it to them. And because they just want to be right. As Colin Cowherd always says, he wants to get it right, not be right. I may be butchering his saying, but it's like, some people, they got their opinion and they're going to fight for that opinion because they don't want to dare admit they would ever be wrong. So they got to stick with it forever, even though you can make a logical argument. And I guarantee you there'll be somebody probably in this comment box that'll still try to drive home that point. But I found me this deal for this boat, and and it's just, I just give up on it. I'm like, it ain't worth my time. It ain't worth wasting my breath over. And in reality, kayak fishing shouldn't be about fishing on a boat. You shouldn't look at a kayak as a poor man's boat. Like, you shouldn't go get into kayak fishing because you see it as a cheaper alternative as getting a boat. Like, if you want to fish out of a kayak, you should do it because you want to. If what you're wanting to do is just get you a cheaper boat, essentially, you're going to be disappointed. Because a kayak, it don't have the space of a boat, you don't have the speed of a boat. Like, you're going to make some sacrifices fishing out of a kayak that you're not going to have to make fishing out of a boat. So if a boat is truly what you want, get the boat. Save up a little longer, get what you want up front. Because you go the kayak route and what you really want's a boat, you're just going to be disappointed. So that's my rant on that, folks. That's my long-winded rant that nobody wanted to hear. You know who I'd like to rant on is the utility board. I've told that story now in the last 2 videos, how they tore up my yard. Would you believe I can't even get a call back from them people? Not a call back. It's, I knew they weren't going to do shit about it because they don't have to, because they're the almighty utility board. But if you're new to my channel, if you ain't heard my rants the last 2 videos on them, they come into my yard to cut my neighbor's trees. They didn't touch any trees in my yard. They went after my neighbor's trees, trim away from the lines, and they tore up my yard. I got big ruts as this fish goes down. He's got it, buddy. He's got it. Watch him spin it. Oh, he come free. Did he get our bait? No, did not get our bait. Let's send it back down. But anyway, they tore up my yard. It's the Cliff's Notes version. I've went on much longer spills about this. They tore up my yard. I went to the utility board office got the contact info of the person who is over the tree trimming crew. And of course, he's allegedly never there at the office. He's always in the field, is what I've been told. I cannot get a call back from him. So I want to really cuss somebody out over this, but what's it going to do? They're not going to fix it. They don't give a damn because they don't have to give a damn. What are you going to do? You're going to say, I'm going to take my business elsewhere? You can't. Because these utility boards, they got a monopoly. Wherever you live, you don't have options. It ain't like you can choose Walmart or Kmart for your shopping needs with the utility board. Like, you got whatever town you're in, that's what you got. So it's best to just turn the other cheek, but I'm not really a turn the other cheek kind of guy in these situations. Like, they've damaged my property. And when I run the mower over it the other night, like, I'm kaplunk, 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 I'm bouncing over them ruts they've dug out. I shouldn't have to fix that, but I can't even get them on the damn phone to even complain to the right person. So I'm going to end up losing this battle. But it pisses me off that I can't even fight the battle. And sure, I could go out there, I could go back down to the utility board office and gripe and complain to the 18-year-old girl behind the glass there at the counter, but she don't give a damn either, and I don't blame her for not giving a damn because she's making 10, 12 bucks an hour just trying to get through her day. So I don't want to go down there and cause her grief. But the person I need to get to, I can't get to because they're never at the office and they won't return a phone call. So what do you do? It pisses me off though, man. It pisses me off big time. I'm not going to let my anger toward the utility board take away from our day because we're having a nice day out here. But you know what I mean? Like, it pisses me off. These people, these government agencies, they got power. They think they can just walk all over us. They typically do. IRS does it all the time. Our local government where I live, they just, I don't even know why they have zoning restrictions, because anytime a new real estate developer comes to town and buys up a tract of land, they just go in front of that city council, and the city council is like, which one of us do you want to jerk you off? Because we're so happy you're here. You want rid of this zoning law? Fine. Got fish on. That one's going to pull. That one's going to pull. This is on the head. That's a blue. He's rolling. I can feel him rolling every which way down through there. That's a nice takedown. For no bigger than a fish I think he's going to be. Well, he's bigger than I thought. The takedown matches the fish. The fight did not. Oh, we're doubled. Nope, he let it go. We had one hit it. This is a fun sizer right here. Smaller fun size, but he's going to need to be played out a minute. This fish right here, he ain't never had to deal with the city council. Them catfish ain't got no zoning law. But again, why the hell are you going to have a zoning law if you're just going to... The only thing the zoning laws do is they keep the average person from doing what they want to do. As soon as a real estate developer comes to town, and they're going to build a 50-unit apartment complex on a lot that's 300 foot wide by 200 foot long down a back street that can't afford or that can't accommodate all the traffic, the city council's like, well, let me just drop my pants for you. You know, it just pisses me off. These government agencies, the city council where I live, the IRS, the utility board, the utility board now that's tore up my property and won't even give me a call back to even let me vent and cuss them out. This pisses me off, man. This fish is pissed off at me too. He's upset with me here because I put the hook in the jaw. Technically, he put his own hook in his jaw because all I did was drop the bait down. This is another one right here, man. It's a solid fish. Especially when you factor in just time of year, the summer here. we're out here just dealing with the spawn, and we got another fat one here. I mean, look at the belly on that thing. Here, y'all set up there. This fish here wants a picture with me. It's not going to make my Instagram, but it'll make his. Got a belly on it for no longer than it is. All right, fish. We'll see you. Oh, I could have done without that. Ornery old fish. That fish right there, I guarantee you that fish right there will vote for the people that's currently on city council where I live. The city council though, buddy, it's just one big circle jerk in there. They're all real estate developers. And every time you turn around, there's a new apartment complex. Something's going down in my town all the time. And them city council people have got their names all over it. That bait's still hooked good and everything. Let's send it back down. All right, back on the move. I'm gonna try to spin us back around though. I'd rather get us that sun toward our back than be looking into it the whole time. What other drama do I need to catch you all up on? Oh, my ant infestation. That's the other thing we had to cover today. Yeah, so last video, again, that was filmed a few days ago. I talked about the night before, I was having all these big black ants in my house. And I figured out where they were coming in at, kinda. They were, well, I don't know where they're getting up under my house at. I haven't figured that out yet. But like they're entering the inside of my house under the baseboard between my bedroom and my bathroom. So before I had come out here to do the last trip, I went to the store and got some, I forget what they're called. They're like little bait trap things for ants. Basically, these ants go in this container, eat this liquid gel-like food, take it back to the queen and the colony, and it poisons all of them. It kills them all. That's how it's supposed to work. And I was fearful that day because I thought, man, I'm putting this stuff out like it's probably going to draw in more ants, right? Because it allegedly takes a couple days to kill them all. And I thought, man, this is going to get way worse before it gets better. I thought I'm either going to have to burn this house down or call the Orkin man, have them come out and spray, fumigate this thing to get rid of these ants. But to my surprise, when I went home that afternoon, I had several ants there in the bedroom and bathroom area, but they were all inside that bait thing or around it. Like they wasn't coming on into the house like they were the night before. And now here we are, we're a few days removed, and I'm still, like this morning I got up, there was one ant there. And last night I only saw a couple. And so I think maybe this stuff has worked. I don't want to get too cocky about it, but I think possibly it's working. And boy, I'm happy if it is, because I hate ants. I talked about that in the last video. I watched that movie as a kid where the ants got really big, and I think I was too young for that movie. And ever since then, them big black ants, I don't like them. So I got a problem with ants. But I'm on my way home there the other day. And on that last trip, I kind of went on to this spiel, this thought I had in my mind, like, what if ants are the chosen ones in society? Because their society works perfectly. Us humans, we fight and bicker amongst each other all the time. None of us can get along. Ants, though, they're just little communists. They're little socialists. Everybody has their job. You have a queen. Everybody has their role. Nobody complains. The work gets done. Nobody's asking for a raise. Nobody's upset that this person gets more than them or better treatment. Like, everybody just does their job. And their societies function and thrive. And I was like, what if they are the chosen ones in the universe? Like, what if they are the superior civilization? I don't know, but I got to thinking about that on the way home. I'm like, man, there's going to be some of these hyper-religious people that's going to be all over me for even suggesting such a thing. Like, that video ain't posted yet, obviously. But I'm like, boy, the comments are coming. I'm like Nostradamus predicting the future here. The comments are coming. I'm gonna double down on it though, man. Like, if us on planet Earth is a simulation, and some people believe we're in a computer simulation, if it's possible that planet Earth is one big experiment, and God or whoever put a bunch of species on planet Earth, and we're like, you know what? Let's put all these species out here on this Earth, and let's see what happens. Will they get along? Who will conquer who? Who will thrive? Who will go extinct? Like, if there's any possibility of that whatsoever, my money is on the ants. They will outlast us all. Us humans, we will fight and have wars, and ultimately it will probably be humans that ends the human species at some point. Either we're going to build the Terminator through AI who will kill off all the humans, or we'll just nuke each other and blow ourselves away. But the ants, they will outlive us all. They can live on top of the ground, underground, up in trees. They thrive everywhere. They have no problems getting along with each other. They're just little communists is what they are. They're communists. And I'm not backing communism at all. Do not take it that way. I'm not. It would never work with humans. It would never work. We have egos. There's no way. You couldn't have a communist or socialist society work with humans. It would never function. But in the ant world, it works. It's perfect for their civilization. And I'm telling you, man, when humans are long gone, the ants will still be here, thriving. And even when it comes to a situation of like us conquering, like we've conquered even things like grizzly bears, let's just say. Grizzly bear can tear up a human being, obviously. A one-on-one fight, grizzly bear wins every time. But we've conquered grizzly bears to an extent because humans have expanded our range and our civilization to the point we're pushing out a lot of wildlife. I mean, human beings have taken over everything. But we can't take out the ants. Even in my situation, sure, I can kill a few. This rod over here is bouncing around a little bit. I can kill a few of them. Maybe I can take out one little nest there, trying to use my house as their next fortress. But we could never kill all the ants. No way, it's not possible. Because they multiply so quickly. They're burrowing these huge nests underground like we wouldn't even know they were there. Like, it is impossible. So I think there's a chance out there. And again, I know the people, the religious nuts and all that, they're probably coming after me. But I'm going to double down on it and say that ants are the most advanced civilization on planet Earth. Sure, us humans have accomplished a lot. But the most important thing of us just getting along with each other and advancing the human species, we can't do it because we just can't function with each other. You imagine if human beings could get along? Like, if we didn't wait, if the money, time, and resources that have been spent on wars fighting with each other and different countries and all that. If those resources had been put toward advancing the human species and civilization, you imagine where we would be today? Like, I can't even fathom how far advanced we would be, but we can't get out of our own way. Every time we take 2 steps forward as human beings, we trip over our own feet. Ants, on the other hand, they just keep growing. They just keep expanding. When the human species ends, whether it's nuclear war, Terminator, through AI, maybe an asteroid, whatever, ants will live on. There won't be any humans left, but ants. They will emerge out of the ground and take over everything. The entire southeastern United States will be nothing but kudzu and ants. I believe that. So I'm going to double down on it, even though I'm probably going to catch some flack for it. I just think that they've definitely outsmarted me. I mean, sure, I'm killing a few of them, but when they made their way to my house, I mean, I followed that marching line there from the corner of my foundation, down my patio, concrete patio, along the carport, down the driveway, through the yard, up this tree, millions of ants. Millions. And I don't know what us human beings would be to an ant. Like, are we their aliens? They're living their life, doing their thing, and all of a sudden here comes a lawnmower over the top, knocks their house down. Like, are we their version of a UFO? I don't know. Like, and I have so many questions about ants that I should probably research, but I don't want to research, because if you Google it, it's going to bring up pictures of them big black ants, which I can't stand. Creep me out. But like, when it comes to ants, you take a box turtle, for instance. They say a box turtle will live its entire life within a 1-mile radius. How far do ants travel in their life? How long do they stay at one nest? Clearly the ants that come to my house were on the move. For some reason, they were leaving that tree and traveling a good ways, especially for the size of the ant, to my house. Like, why? How often does that happen? Like, I got questions about ants. How long does an ant live? How many babies do they make? How many ants are in the average ant colony? How do they communicate? They say, one thing I'd read there, they have pheromones. When I was looking up like how to kill them. They have pheromones, so if you kill one of them, it'll draw more of them in, because they'll come and figure out what happened. So they obviously communicate with smells, but like, can they speak? How do they communicate to the other ants? How do the ants figure out their roles? Like, everybody does their own job. But how do they know? It ain't like going to your employer and you've got a job description. Like, how do they figure that out? But yet the work gets done. I'm fascinated by their civilization, but I really hate them. If I could obliterate them all, I would. I mean, what is an ant even used for? Like, what's their purpose on the planet? They're kind of like mosquitoes in a sense. Like, they don't do anything productive as far as humans go. And again, for the religious nuts out there, like, if all these creatures were put on the planet for us, then what is the purpose that an ant serves? Which makes me think maybe they weren't put here for us. Maybe we're all just put here to see who will survive, which species will thrive and which ones will not. Ants, Charlie Sheen style, they're winning. There's somebody coughing. I can't figure out where they're at. You know what I think I kind of want to do now? Now that we've had a stretch of nothing going on, I think now I kind of want to go over to the other side over here because we're about to go around this bend. I kind of want to make my way over to the other side. Because we've went a good stretch here now. At least it seems like it's been a good stretch without getting bit. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's do that. Let's just go over here to the other side. We'll drift around the outside of this bend and see how it compares. The other thing too, and this did not affect us the other day, but the other thing too is it's getting later in the morning out here now. So, the higher that sun gets in the sky, typically summer months, and this is my experience again talking, you get a morning bite, typically around sunrise, a couple hours afterwards, and then the bite tails off. It didn't affect us the other day. I mean, we were getting bit. I fished for like 4 hours and we were getting bit all the way up to the very end. Didn't affect one bit. But today, different conditions, sun's out. Maybe it will possibly. That could be something that may slow the bite down too. But I think probably the play for me would be, we're gonna get over here, we'll reel up our baits, check them out. We may switch them out, put on a fresh one. But probably like try to work this outside bend here, and then next time I fish, if I don't end up going to Ohio at some point, but be wherever we end up today, next trip out, pick up where we left off, keep making our way along. Or the other possibility too is fish high, because this whole stretch of the ledge here on this other side, we've not done anything down. Hit it. We've got a lot of water to explore out here. Again, the areas we've drifted through today, I've never in my life fished here. This is brand new water to me, so we're just exploring. We're just out here having fun, man. We'll get us over here, we'll reel up, check our baits. It is a little deeper on this side, looks like. I'm 27 feet here, right where I'm at. I got these baits, they're still in the water. They're behind us right now, 3 miles an hour. Wouldn't it be something if one of them things got smoked? It could happen. There's something splashing right up here. It could totally happen. I've caught catfish on crankbaits. I caught one, I had a rattle trap one time trolling behind me 3 miles an hour. Got a blue cat on it. Like if you get it in their face, they liable to hit it. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing over here though. We're gonna get on the edge, right on the edge of the channel, right before it starts to come up at a steep angle. And we're gonna work that outside edge on down around the bend this way, circling around that direction. Yeah, it does look like it's gonna be a little bit deeper over here though, 27 feet here where we're at, so. Let's reel this up, just take a look at it. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch it out. We'll just go ahead and switch both of them out. Oh hell, that one there, we've been robbed. That last fish that nipped us, we've been fishing on credit over there. That's probably why we ain't got nothing. I can catch fish a lot of ways, but bare hook's asking a lot. Kind of need something on the hook. We're gonna stick with the head and chunk. My regular fishing buddies out there know I got a lot of confidence in them head baits as far as like trophy class fish go. Obviously today we've not, at least not to my knowledge, we could have come across some down there and they just haven't wanted our baits or something, but I've got a ton of confidence in these baits for trophy class fish. And that first section of meat there behind the head is also it's a really good section of meat for getting some big fish, numbers of fish and big fish. And today, I mean, I feel like we're getting a good mixture of both, really. I mean, again, we're not getting like trophies today. But I mean, if you can come out here during the spawn and get you them what I call fun size fish, man, heck, that's, I mean, I think most people would be happy with that. And if you ain't happy with it, probably need to reevaluate things. Whether or not fishing's really the right thing for you. Always want to get them scales off the tip of your hook right there. That's a big deal. That will cost you some fish quicker than anything. You wouldn't think a little scale, just paper thin, would keep you from penetrating a fish's mouth, but boy, it will. All right, we're on the move. We're on the other side over here. This will either work out or it won't. There's a bunch of fish there on that other side though, man. We caught them. We've got a bunch down through here this morning. And where I finished up there, that last trip, you know, obviously right upstream from there, we had got several fish there as I was finishing up that day. So like it's, oh, what's busting right here? I don't know what that was. That wasn't a carp though. I don't know if that was striper or bass, maybe skipjack. Of course, they ain't gonna come back up now, me and you looking at it. Yeah, I'm pretty content, y'all. I'm pretty happy with how things are going down here. This stretch of the river, man, it's been on my hit list forever. Finally made it happen, and boy, it's paying off. And I mentioned that early on, I think, in the trip there, that last trip, that fishing during the spawn, it's not always the best time to be trying out a new place, because if you don't get bit, you're not really going to know, is it just not a good area, or you're not getting bit because it's the spawn. But I've seen enough out of this place, this stretch through here. I think it's going to be a good place, especially that last trip in front of that other creek up yonder, or slough or whatever it was. Like, I'm pretty sure we could anchor down and catch some fish. And that one that we just got them larger fish on back over here on the other side, whatever that was, creek or slough or pocket, whatever, I bet you if we put some time into that on anchor, especially spring and fall, I bet you we could tear up some fish there too. We've got kayakers coming here behind us. right there beside us too. Let's move along. We were on the other side of the channel. They were over there. I thought, well, this is a good time to move anyway. We'll come over here. I'll be damned if they don't follow us over. Let's just move on down, put some distance between us and them. You know I don't like being around people. I'm peopled out, man. I can't be doing people today. We're gonna call Ryan out here at some point if we got enough cell phone reception, but I definitely want to do talk him today because we've caught so many fish. And I hope he's up there. I hope he's fighting the wind. I hope it's blowing like a hurricane up there. Well, we got another little pocket right here. I'd like to drift slowly past this. We just got these guys. They literally, I mean, we were on the other side of the channel. They paddled over here right behind us. It's like, what the hell? There's nobody on the water today, and I'll be damned, the three people that are going to be right on top of each other. Never fails. I gotta get me a big gulp, bear with me. It's a steamy day, gotta stay hydrated. I don't do a very good job of that normally. I drink a lot on the way down. I drink a lot on the way home. During the video, I try not to be gulping. I don't want y'all having to listen to that, but getting a little parched. We're in a bad spot with that sun behind us. I can't see the graph right there. The glare on it, I can't see to see where we're at. Yeah, we're good. 24 feet here though. Thought we might get a little bit more speed possibly going around this outside bend. I really don't, I'm okay with the speed we're going. It's paying off today, but I do prefer about a half a mile an hour usually. That's a good drifting speed. Even in these warm months, I don't really want to be drifting more than about a mile an hour. That's about the max. If the current's more than that, I'm just going to anchor. You can catch catfish moving at faster speeds, but there is a limit on it when that bite's going to tail off on you. There's more splashing going on over here. The last summer there, I was at that tournament on Kerr Lake, and I'd went over early to pre-fish because I'd never been to Kerr Lake before. I didn't know anything about the place, and stumbled into an odd bite. It's on my channel there, the pre-fishing days and the tournament day. I stumbled into an odd bite. The wind was blowing, and I hadn't done very good that morning, but the wind was blowing really bad. And I got tired of fighting it, and I just said, I'm gonna throw out my lines and just let that wind push me back to the car. And so I'm drifting along with the wind, and all of a sudden rod goes down. I glance at my graph, I'm a mile an hour. Next thing you know, another rod's going down. I'm like, well, we're on to something here. Like, that's odd, because I wasn't doing worth a diddly-doo-doo going normal trolling speed, half a mile an hour or so. But all of a sudden, the wind's got me moving a mile an hour, getting bit. So I go out there and test that theory. The next day, moving along half a mile an hour, nothing. Crank the speed up, 0.8, 1 mile an hour, boom, fish on. Catch another. So I ended up going out there on tournament day, and I don't think I was trolling, I was dragging baits. I don't think I ever went below 0.8 miles an hour all day, and ended up winning the damn tournament. Because you couldn't, for whatever reason, you had to be moving fast. If you were half a mile an hour, less than that, you wasn't getting bit. They just wasn't going to touch it. But 0.8 to 1 mile an hour, you bring it by them, they'd wreck it. That's just one of the things. It's funny how that works out sometimes. Every day's a puzzle. And sometimes you get in situations where I think you can kind of get, what's the word I'm looking for here? You get in a situation where you're getting bit, you're catching fish, and you think what you're doing is working because you're catching fish, but if you would just tweak it just slightly, you'd get more and bigger quality. And that's one of them things. It's sometimes hard to figure out if what you're doing is working. It's hard to want to change that. Or, you take me like today out here. I come out here today like we were going to suspend baits regardless. No matter how things went today, we were suspending. This is how I like to fish. This is what I like to do. This is what the plan was going to be for today. Even though I knew coming out here, best quality would be dragging against the current that would be the plan if this was a tournament situation. But little nuances like that. It's funny how those things can be. Like, why is it you bring that bait by a fish at one speed, it won't touch it. You bring it by a little quicker, it nails it. And that situation goes in reverse sometimes too. You bring it by at one speed, a faster speed, they won't touch it. You slow it down, you leave it sitting there on bottom, they'll eat it. It's weird how that is professional right here. I think this guy's got stickers on his boat. Bass fisherman. You know this guy's catching fish because he got stickers all over it, man. I bet he's got 50,000 electronics on that thing too. These guys in the kayak still coming with us here. They're paddling. They're going to wear out before we do. This guy right here, he's an athlete, buddy. Professional athlete, because he's a professional bass fisherman. Speaking of athletes, I was thinking about this too with this ant situation I got going on at my house. This infestation. A few years back, I had looked into this tree climbing deal. It looked fun. And when I say tree climb, I don't mean like the guys who climb trees and cut them down, cutting branches and stuff. Not that kind of tree climbing, because they're using like spikes on their boots and stuff. I'm talking about these people, they climb trees for fun, like we used to do as kids. I used to climb trees out in the woods when I was a kid growing up. I'd have forts up there and all that. I mean, that's how I spent a lot of my outdoor times, climbing trees. But now they got these people, they do it as a hobby as an adult, and they're putting these harnesses on and climbing trees with ropes. And I thought something like that looked fun. But you climb up in these trees and maybe they're infested with ants. What are you going to do when you're up there? You're hanging from a rope and a saddle. You got ants all over you. That's my drawback from doing it. But I had looked into it once upon a time. And I noticed, like, well, them tree climbing people, they're obviously skinny people because you can't have some fat ass up in a tree as we get this rod. I think he may have a fly or something right there. He's still on, I believe. This was another one we don't want right here. But this one here's got to be foul hooked. Or on the fly. On the fly. I knew it. I knew the way he was fighting. That wasn't normal. Let's see if we can not throw this bait off. Easy fish, easy. Hate to fly in the mouth, buddy. That's another one. Gobbled that fly up. I hear you, fish. I can't figure out which direction it's going in at. Lord almighty, what's this fish done to this thing? This professional over here's leaving. He's made 3 casts. Goodness, fish. There we go. There we got it out. Get out of here. All right. Let's drop this thing back down. As the professional, but he's done with it, man. He made 3 casts. He said that's enough. Down it goes. I'm glad he's leaving though, because y'all know I don't like talking around people. Yeah, he's got stickers all over his boat over there though. He's a real professional. He knows after 3 casts. There ain't no fish up in there. I can't see what them companies are on the side of his boat, but he's got a bunch of them. They from the front to the back. He's a real professional. If he was an amateur or semi-professional, he'd only have 1 sticker on there, but the fact he's got multiple stickers, that's why he only had to make 3 casts right there. I'm surprised he didn't catch 3 fish in a row in them 3 casts before he left. That little cove or whatever goes back, there wasn't no fish up in there. Guarantee there wasn't none. That's why he didn't go up in there. Big as that guy was, he probably needed to get back in the boat to go cool off. Get back on the move. What I was saying though, so you got these tree climbing people. And they do these classes and stuff, and they teach you how to climb trees with ropes just for fun. Like you put a harness, you throw the rope over a limb, put the harness on, pull yourself up. I thought, something like that kind of looked fun. That looked enjoyable. Because I used to climb trees as a kid, man. I bet you get some trees down there around my parents' house, they might be still some G.I. Joes hanging on up there at the top of them trees somewhere. Because I'd have forts up in them trees just for myself and also the G.I. Joes. I'd climb up in the trees and play with them up there. I had all kinds of stuff going on. But for some reason, as an adult, I don't know if it's just because we get big, we stop climbing trees. I honestly can't even remember how old I was when I stopped climbing trees at this point. But I saw that class and I was like, it's kind of nostalgic. I'd like to climb a tree. But then I start thinking about the ants. And I was like, man, if you got up there, I'm not as agile now as I used to be. When I was a kid, I climb up in a tree and there's ants all over. Like I could finagle my way down that tree quick, fast, and in a hurry. Or if you got up there and there's bees or something. Nowadays, I don't know that I could get back down the tree as fast as what I could in the old days, especially if you tied in with a harness and all that. When I was a kid, safety be damned. There wasn't no rope, there wasn't no harness. You just jumped up there and grabbed the branch and pulled yourself up and kept going till you couldn't go no more. Like you just went for it, man. Like them rock climbers with no ropes, like free climbing. But I think you'd have to be in pretty good shape to do it, because you probably ain't gonna be no 300-pound fat ass tree climbing. I don't know that you'd have to have the right branch to support you. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with the rock climbing. And you see these rock climbers, this is where I was going with this, these athletes. Because there's some professional bass fishermen that want to be considered athletes now. And I look at some of these guys, these bass fishermen, they're 300-pound sloths. I'm like, that's an athlete, really? That? You think of somebody like a rock climber. That's another one of those kind of fringe sports, if you will. I use sports in quotations because is it really a sport or not, or is you just climbing rocks? But you look at those people that do it regularly, and they're all like super fit, athletic. I mean, you got to be a rock climber, and I'm not into it. I've never done it. I don't want to stick my hands in little crevices on rocks. There could be snakes in there, so I don't want to be bitten by no rattle. I wonder, it's something to look up. How many rock climbers get bit by rattlesnakes every year by sticking their hands in crevices on them cliff walls and stuff? I'd be interested to know that. But all them rock climbers, they look, when you see one, somebody that's like really into it, they're all super fit. And you have to be. Like, you have to have, your whole body is working when you're climbing something like that. Like, everything is going to be toned. There's not a muscle in your body you're not going to use if you're rock climbing. Whereas some of these other fringe sports, if you will, bass fishing, come on. You can be a 300-pound diabetic, can't bend over and put your shoes on and go out there and bass fish. Like, is that really an athlete? Is that what you think of when you think of I'm thinking of a fish right here. He's got a nice slow takedown. I don't think he's going to be very big, though. He's got it, though. Oh, now he's going to run. He knows he's hooked now, don't he? Got another one. About to slow down a lot since we moved over here. I don't know if it's because of where we're at, time of day, or what. I don't know. Either way, we got another one right here. Oh, he's going to spin us this way now. This fish is, he's an athlete, and he'll show me. He'll show me what he can do. Well, looky here now. This is, turn your head. Don't look right now. He's trying to splash us. Well, definitely better than the last one that ate the fly. This one here ate the cut bait, but larger dink, smaller fun size. This one's one that's got some length, but not a lot of weight to him. He's fired up though. He's athletic. Not like these bass fishermen or the golfers. You get like John Daly, for instance. And I know, listen, John Daly's an American treasure, but overweight, out there smoking, drinking his Diet Cokes, and can go out there and dominate on the golf course. Like, is that really an athlete? Now, there are some golfers who are athletes, but do you have to be an athlete to be a golfer? The answer is no. And so, I'm just saying, I don't know that bass fishing should be considered a sport. Bass are sport fish. You know, I'm out here, I'm after catfish. They're considered sport fish where I'm at today. I don't know that makes me an athlete, though. I guess, you know, it's 2024. You can be whatever the hell you want to be. If somebody's 350 pounds and can't bend over and put their shoes on, if they want to identify as an athlete, well, by gosh, they can. It don't matter. It don't matter what anybody says or thinks about it. They're an athlete, by gosh. Come here, fish. I've had enough of you. It's time to, you ain't ready to calm down, but you need to calm down. I think sometimes these skinnier fish pull harder than the bigger ones. They're lean and mean. Oh, don't run up under my kayak like that now. Rub that line on my kayak and you'll be breaking us off, fish. I ain't trying to be breaking off out here today. There you go. I'm gonna hold you out like that. I ain't giving you no front camera time. Yeah, I mean, that's a longer fish, but it's not a lot of weight to it. There you go. Let's cut us another chunk and keep on our drift here. 0.8 miles an hour down through here. 24 feet right now. A lot of fish through here though. I mean, I don't know how many we've had today. But I mean, we've had some really good numbers today overall. Like we've had us a day. Cut another chunk. Maybe I mean, the bite seems a little bit more sporadic over here thus far. Maybe we're gonna stumble our way into a big one. I feel like it could happen. I mean, anytime you got a bait in the water, you got a chance, but I'm telling you, every year it seems like I bust a big one during the spawn. We need to call Ryan in a little while too. See what he's doing today. I guarantee he ain't caught as many fish as we have, even with his damned old planer boards. And all these fish we've got today, man, again, 2 rods. Didn't need planer boards, didn't need a boat. Just don't, if you're where the fish are, you just don't have to do all that stuff. Okay, we're back in the game. 2 rods down again. Clean our cutting board off. Need to clean this kayak too. Got slime and everything else all over it. This kayak here, I don't mind cleaning it as much. It's a smoother texture plastic, so it cleans easier. My other one, the Hobie, it's got a rougher texture on it. And you got to really scrub it to get the dirt and all that off there. Like you got to actually work to clean that kayak. This one here, I can just hose off and take a sponge and I'm done in a few minutes. So this thing may actually get washed this weekend, possibly. Maybe. Don't hold me to it, but maybe. We'll get me another swig. We may call Ryan in a minute. You want to call Ryan? Just talk some trash. Let's see. Let me see where we're at here. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, it's 10:17 right now, y'all. So typically this time of day, we're usually past the morning bite, but I mean, we're still getting bit. Okay, let's call him. I only got but 1 bar here. I don't know if it's gonna work out or not, cell-wise. There's 2 bars.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, you're on video, by God. God almighty. I ain't editing out either. I'm gonna have to put a parental advisory thing in here.
I should have warned him before we. I'm sorry, Justin. Just bleep that out.
God almighty. You can't bleep unedited. God almighty. I thought you'd be in the damn kayak. I didn't think you was gonna have Chris right there ready to blast me.
Well, we was getting gas.
You ain't even on the water yet?
No, we're just loaded up. Got the old soccer mom van here
Oh, heck.
with the double trailer.
Well, I thought I'd call and see if I could get you on a video one way or the other.
Well, I figured you'd bring your sorry ass up here, but you know.
Well, I done caught about 30 fish down here this morning.
I guess you can't afford to drive up here.
No.
You didn't win anything the last time.
I gave you all my money last time.
Yeah.
You don't even feel bad about it. You beat me terribly down there on Nickajack, and you don't even feel the least bit bad about it.
No, not even a little bit. No.
No remorse whatsoever. You're like a sociopath.
I'm just going to continue to talk shit about doing it.
God almighty. No, I thought I'd call you.
You gave me the points lead.
Yeah, well, that's the only way you was going to get it is if I give it to you, so. You're welcome.
It's mine to screw up now.
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to have it because I want my comeback to be that more epic.
Plus that starving artist thing, you know, I need that $5,000.
I know you do. It's the charitable. I'm gonna write it off as a tax write-off for giving it to you.
I'll find the what's it called, the donation form or whatever.
You don't know what it is. I don't know why you even trying to talk like you know what the hell you're talking about.
901c3 form. That's what we'll call it.
Lord. Now, I thought I was going to call and you'd be up there fighting the wind and I'd be down here in calm conditions reeling in fish. And
it's not that bad up here right now. We're going out on Hoover here, right here where we're headed. So.
Well, I had looked at the Hoover wind forecast and I thought it was going to be enough. I didn't want to fool with it, so.
You ever eat so much gas station food that you just walk in here and don't want nothing?
No, I don't eat it. It's disgusting. And I don't like going in gas stations because then you have to talk to people. And most of them don't speak English.
Actually, everybody in this one does.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Are you in Kentucky or Ohio right now?
We're in Ohio.
Well, that's why.
Yeah. All the ones that don't are out farming right now, I guess.
Well. I'm gonna have to go back. Let me see where I'm at on this. I'm gonna have to go back and bleep Chris out. God almighty. I knew I shouldn't have called. I knew this is your only chance of getting any clicks to your Starving Artist YouTube channel, so I was trying to help you out. And
I did put out some decent videos this week.
well, if nobody watches them, how do you know they're decent?
With Lindsay. Well, I think they're great videos.
Well, of course you do. You're a narcissist.
They're way more entertaining than watching you. I know that.
Well, watching paint dry is more entertaining than watching me.
Chris watched my videos last night, so.
You forced him to watch.
No, he actually turned on my playlist and just let it play. Give me some watch time.
You know, I would make some comment. I'd make some comments right now that'd be very inappropriate, but I'm not going to because the camera's rolling. Now, I don't want to have to edit out this whole conversation. But I got some major Brokeback Mountain stuff to say.
I want you to look at this nice hat Chris has got on.
That's the ugliest hat I've ever seen. Did you pay money for that, Chris?
No, sir. It's sponsored to me.
Okay, good. That's better. God, man.
So you caught 30 this morning?
I don't know. I've caught a bunch. It's been pretty consistent.
Any big ones?
No, some fun size has been about as big as it's got.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could have caught them up here in the Channel Cat Pond.
Well, but why the hell would I want to drive 5 hours to go catch the fish I can get right here?
I mean, because you can win $5,000 up here.
Well, I probably, if that wind's 15 to 20 on Sandusky this weekend, I'd sink my Hobie.
I mean, I guess you're just going to have to move to a Jackson.
Well, I'd rather move to a damn Pelican.
Yeah, I don't do that, Chris.
Well,
Self-checkout. Oh.
You're too good for self-checkout, ain't you?
Give me a long It's in the van, but yeah.
Here I am. I'm calling you, putting you on video. You can't even give me your undivided attention.
Yeah.
You going through a damn checkout line.
We're trying to do big things here while you're out there play fishing.
Well, here I am trying to make you famous on here with the 14 people still watching and get you a dozen more views. You should get some of them donuts there behind you is what you need.
Then I'd be getting fat like you.
Well, hey, there's worse things to be.
Let me go get it. Oh. I guess since I shaved and cut my hair, I guess these people think I'm not old enough to buy tobacco products anymore.
Well, it's about damn time you done something with yourself. Look presentable.
Look at that, buddy. Look at that.
Well.
I almost got the Justin Johnson, except I got hair on the top.
It's overrated.
Oh.
Well,
No, we decided to sleep in this morning and take it easy. And
you fishing Hoover today and tomorrow, or you going up to Sandusky tomorrow?
I'm just getting bait at Hoover. That's my main concern, because you know how baited the bay is. So.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see what them crappie are doing there at Hoover. Let me know how that goes.
That's my main thing. I want to get a video.
I was wondering because it's later in the year than when we were getting them there last year in that cove.
1 month later.
Yeah. So I don't know if they'd still be back there or not.
I don't think that little pocket.
I think they're going to be in the main lake probably.
Yeah, probably suspended in like 10, 12 foot of water. The cybercline set in too, so.
You gonna pull cranks or jigs for them?
I'm just gonna throw jigs. I got the live scope with me today.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it goes up there for you. That's kind of my concern too. Like I had a cooler full of skipjack, but I was like,
well, we got a famous YouTuber here. He's making a video.
Yeah.
He called me to give me some time. He's in Tennessee.
It looks to me like he's in the mountains somewhere.
Well, the mountains in Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's a hillbilly.
Yeah. I like her style. Yeah. That's a good. I should have called her instead of you, Ryan.
You probably should have. You probably got more views with her, I promise.
I guarantee it.
Has he ever been in here?
No. No.
Tell her when I do come in there, I'm gonna need a discount though.
Yeah, he's gonna need that. I hope you can hear that. We can't even operate a credit card machine.
I know. God forbid I get some attention here when I'm making you famous.
Well, I got my face on there for you. You know what I mean?
Well, that's half the audience done clicked off when they saw that.
Right there, screenshot that. That's your thumbnail right there.
Oh, it'd get more views than your thumbnails get. I guarantee it. It's pretty bad, and you exploit your wife and still can't get anybody to click on it.
Well, you know, you got to try everything.
At least you didn't have to pay her to be in your thumbnail like them other YouTubers.
Yeah, not like them other guys from Tennessee. All right.
You know you're desperate when you hiring the strippers.
He went straight to the mouses here. He got his bottles. How about that? He copied my video 1 week, well, our video 1 week, and then the next week he copied that this other guy from Kentucky. I don't remember his channel name.
I probably don't even know who the other YouTuber is. They so many damn.
Always got hookers on the boat with him running trot lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I searched the other day, Ryan, just because I don't ever watch fishing videos. I just searched catfishing on there on the YouTube. Man, there are so many YouTube channels now, like.
I'd be afraid what catfishing turned up.
Well, yeah, different kind of catfishing. But I couldn't believe how many channels there was now. Like, man, it's definitely a saturated market.
Yeah, it's saturated. But that's why I keep trying to mix up my videos onto a different stuff, because everybody's always doing the same stuff, you know what I mean? So I want to be different.
Well,
I guess we're all catfishing channels, but I want to be able to stand out from the rest of them.
Well, you stand out just every time you put that face on camera, but it's repulsive. Yeah. It stands out in a big way.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to go get plastic surgery so I look like you and your son that came to our check-in down there that day.
You know, y'all making fun of that poor guy for looking like me, but he's the best looking guy out there aside from me, so.
Well, I'm going to hire him before he gets famous so I can put him on my channel. Else patches him up.
He could be my stunt double, by God.
Yeah. Hire him for a stunt double for you. We might get through all right. So,
well, I'll let you go there since you about to.
We about don't have no room to ride in here, but we're on the road. So.
All right, well, I'll let you go so you can drive. I just thought you'd be on the water by now. I should have known better.
All right, I hope you catch a smaller one than you already did. So.
Well, ever since I started talking to you, I stopped getting bit, so you apparently bad luck.
Well, fish are looking for me. All right, well, good luck, buddy.
All right.
I'll holler at you Saturday or something.
We'll see you.
See you.
All right, folks, that was a mistake. Now I'm gonna have to go back and edit out Chris's bad language. I done cost myself some work today now. He is bad luck though. Hell, we ain't got a bite since I tried calling him. I thought I should have known. He said he was going up there and fishing this morning. I should have known they'd sleep in and dick around and all that. Our work day's done before his gets started. I should have known. Well, look at this. Come on, I don't know if you can see this or not. Look up here at that nest. Can you see that up there in that tree right there? That is a huge nest. I heard something behind me and looked up there and saw that thing. I think it's an osprey though. There's something was splashing right over there. I think that's an osprey up there. I see a wing. I see part of a wing. Looks like he's got some trash in that nest too. I see it dangling. Looks like he's been rolled, like there's a thing of toilet paper hanging off of it. Looks like. I had some birds a couple years back. I had changed line on my, yeah, it is an osprey, I hear him. I had changed line on my fishing reels and I'd thrown the line in my fire pit. And them damn birds got that fishing line to try to make them a nest. It was hanging from a tree. I had to go get damnedest thing. Ryan, no, he had his wife, when he went down, he spent 2 weeks down on Nickajack fishing there leading up to our tournament, and he had filmed a bunch of videos while he was there, and his wife had went down for part of the trip and camped, and they had fished together some, and so he had her in the thumbnails there, and I give him crap about that, because all these YouTubers, when you got to start putting women in your thumbnails to get views, like it's, you're getting pretty damn desperate at that point. It works, and it works. There's a reason why they do it, but like, some of these YouTubers, man, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I was giving him hell about that, and it got me thinking. These girls, these strippers and stuff they hired putting their thumbnails, I used to know a stripper. I was friends with the guy, and his wife was a stripper when she was in college. And I've fallen out of touch with them. They moved out of state a few years ago, and I'm a terrible friend. I'm bad about keeping in touch with people, especially if they ain't on social media. And neither one of them was on social media, so I completely lost touch with them. They moved to Arizona or New Mexico. It was out west somewhere. Like, they went a long ways away. But I think she had always been fascinated with that area and wanted to go. So anyway, none of that matters for this point of the story. But yeah, she has told stories and stuff at the strip club. And I found this fascinating. She said Sundays were the best days to work as a stripper, because she said the after church crowd would come in. They go to church, and then they go to the nudie bar. I'm like, you wouldn't, I mean, here in the South, we got a fish swimming with this rod. I never felt him. I saw my line swimming out. He's going that way with it, buddy. No, and he dropped it. Let's see if our bait's still on. We get Ryan off the phone, we're gonna start getting bit again now, maybe. So far though, this outside of this bend it's not producing. And I don't know if it's time of day. I don't know if it's just we're off the fish. I don't know. But I know we ain't getting bit like we was. That's for dang sure. I'm gonna blame Ryan for it. I'm gonna get me another swig here and I'm gonna tell you my story about the strippers. But she would say, you know, the best time to work as a stripper would be Sundays for the after church crowd. They come in there in their Sunday best and be dropping some dollar bills in there. But I just, you know, I was fascinated by it because these church people around here, you know, and you know, here in the South, this is the Bible Belt, of course. Everybody's go to church on Sunday, and they want to preach to you how you should be, and then they turn around go to the nudie bar as soon as they get out of there. I just found that to be funny. I should try to reach out to them. I honestly hadn't even thought about them in a long time because it's been so long since they moved, and out of sight, out of mind. They're the smartest people I know, really, not being on social media. But yeah, she worked as a stripper, get herself through college, and she had some stories. And I ain't knocking religious people and stuff. I ain't got no problem with people being religious. Be whatever kind of religion you want. I don't care. I ain't got no problem with people going nudie bars. I like nudie bars. I ain't been in a long time, but I like them. Who don't like going and watch naked ladies dance? What I got a problem with is these people that want to talk like they're holier than thou and want to tell me how I ought to be, and then they go around and do stuff they ain't supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I got a problem with. The hypocrisy of it is what I've got a problem with. So, and I ain't saying all of them are hypocrites, but you know, there's a fair amount of them that 2 hours of church on a Sunday is the only time they act very Christian-like. And it ain't just like that. I mean, it's like that with all religions. Working as a travel nurse as long as I did, I've experienced just about every type of religion. I've worked with people of all faiths throughout my career and had problems with most of those people at some point, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just, people are people regardless of what their particular faith is. The only religious group that I can't say that I've ever had an issue with at some point, like the people, not the religion itself, but just the people. And it's probably just due to the fact it's a small sample size, but it's the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, if you work with a Jehovah's Witness in healthcare, you kiss the ground they walk on, because they are going to, see, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate holidays. No birthdays, no Christmas, no New Year's, nothing. Like, they don't recognize any holidays. And when you work in healthcare, you have to work holiday. Hospitals ain't closing down. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So as a nurse or any healthcare employee, like, you're going to have to work holidays. Like, as a travel nurse, I was able to schedule around it and avoid it. But like, as a staff nurse, if you're working at a hospital or facility, like, you're going to have to do, most of them, it's in your damn job description. They're going to tell you major holidays, you're going to work one or the other. Like, you're going to work a Christmas Eve or a Christmas Day, a New Year's Eve, a New Year's Day, Thanksgiving or the day after. Like, you're going to have to do one out of the two. And then the minor holidays, most of them call it, which would be like your Memorial Day, where people, it's a government holiday, and people oftentimes have plans to go on trips and stuff, Memorial Day weekend. You're going to have to work a couple of those a year. Halloween might be on that list because people, it's a day people oftentimes take off for to go do stuff with their kids. But you're going to have to work so many of those in addition to your every other on the major holidays. If you're working with a Jehovah's Witness, you better be kissing that ass, because they don't celebrate holidays. The one I worked with was happy if you got to her first, she would take your holiday. She's like, oh, you need Christmas Day off? Sure, I'll work it. And she wouldn't say no to anybody. Like, my girlfriend could learn a thing or two from her about not saying no. But yeah. And she was just a good human being, like one of the nicest people. But she was Jehovah's Witness. Now, I'd always ask her a bunch of questions that probably drove her crazy, but she was so nice, she would never tell me to stop. Because I was fascinated with her people. But she was very nice. I think the most surprising thing about the Jehovah's Witnesses was how low the divorce rate was. She told me, and I don't remember the number of it, but it was like, if you look at just divorce rate across the board in America, you're looking at over half at this point. But Jehovah's Witnesses, it's a very small percentage. But yeah, if you're a healthcare worker, and you go into work, you're starting a new job, and there's a Jehovah's Witness there, that needs to be your best friend, because that's what's going to keep you from working on Christmas Eve or day, or whatever day you need to get out of. That's going to be your ticket to getting out of it. What we got going on here? We got a boat going behind us. We're going around this bend, and I guess there's a creek right here. There's a couple islands right here, and it opens up on the back side of this. Hopefully we get down here where this, I guess it's Old Creek, where it comes in. Hopefully there might be something staged up out here maybe. Because it's been deader and damn it for a while. Ever since we've come to this side, the bite went down the crapper, man. I want to blame Ryan for being bad luck, but it may just be us and the fact that we've moved away we've left biting fish to go find more fish, and that may have been stupid. We may have just continued working the inside bend over there. Just typically I like the outside bend and the way the river comes here. It's like an S. So it was time for us to make the switch, but it is just not panned out. Not yet, anyway. We hook a monster over here, we won't even think about not getting bit for a while, but if we don't get a bite soon, as hot as I am, I'm gonna get the heck on out of here is what I'm gonna do. The further we drift down, the longer run I got to get back to the car. That bass fisherman over there ain't got no stickers on his boat. He don't know what he's doing, I guarantee it. I bet you he'll make more casts than that professional did, even though there ain't no fish over there. This wind's gonna push us around here. We'll have to be careful we don't get up on this ledge and get everything snagged up. That'd be bad enough we can't snag a fish right now. We'll get snagged up on bottom, be breaking off stuff here. That'd make a day turn sour quick. It's been a good day though overall. I mean, anytime I come out and catch this many fish, it's a pretty good day. I'd obviously always like to catch more, and I'd like to catch bigger, but I mean, I'm not going to go home complaining today, that's for dang sure. If Ryan messages me later and he's caught some monster up there on Hoover today, especially after he took all damn day to get up there, I may end up regretting not going. Depending on how long it takes him to catch bait, though, he may not even end up catfishing at all. When we were up there last year, it was early May, and these crappie were way back in this cove we found them. I caught crappie all over that lake, though. I filmed an ultralight video, too, and got a bunch with the gulp, but we were back in this cove, And I guess they were back there spawning, and it was, I mean, it was on, like, and big crappie too. Like, that's one of the best crappie bites I've ever been on in my life. That body of water, I mean, it's just stacked with crappie. There's a bird fight or something going on over there. I heard them. It's over now. But that was early May last year. So, I mean, those fish right now he's going up there to, they're probably they're probably gone. So it's probably going to be like an open water thing up there, especially if there is a thermocline like he was talking about. Hoover is just a smaller reservoir, smaller body of water, so you don't have a lot of flow through there. You're going to get a thermocline in these hot months. Something's working that rod right there, but let it go. So I'll be curious to see how he does up there. I could have, if I had win, I could have taken my skipjack, obviously. But they don't have skipjack in there naturally. And I caught some fish on skipjack there last year, but the crappie was the better bait there for sure. Because that's what they're naturally eating in there. One of the foods they're naturally eating. And even though skipjack's an awesome bait, it's better on bodies of water where they're naturally swimming there. I'm gonna keep us turned this way because I'm doing my flotch over here. Man, I'm ready to catch another fish, so it's been a minute. I don't really want to go over and hit the other. Something splashed beside us over here. I really don't want to go back over there and hit the inside of this bend, though. I feel like, even though we're not getting bit, I feel like this is where we need to be. I shouldn't let y'all talk me into coming to this side to begin with. It's a terrible idea. I blame all y'all. I would have never made such a stupid mistake. Ever since we come over here, there, what, 2 fish since we got over here. I definitely would like, though, at some point, if I end up going to, there's another splash right in front of us. If I end up going up to Ohio at some point, maybe next week, and the winds die down, it may knock me out of doing it for a while, but I'd like to come back here at some point and just continue working down this ledge. I'd like to hit both sides of it all the way down and just see what all you get. You know, it's just one of the things you got to put time into. It takes time to do it. You only cover so much distance in a day. Even now, when we're moving a mile an hour right now. It's more than I want to move. But still, even at a mile an hour, you can only cover so much distance. It's amazing, though, folks. It's amazing. 2 people on the water right now. We're over here beside each other. We finally outrun the damn kayakers that followed us over from one side of the channel to the next. Like, how is it that you only got just a handful of people on the water? They just always find each other. Like, they end up be completely different styles of fishing. You still end up on top of each other. Makes no damn sense to me. Try to back us up here a little bit and get us closer to this ledge. The wind's blowing out of this creek, I think, and it's kind of pushing us off where we need to be. There goes another one that ain't got stickers. They ain't gonna catch nothing. We've covered it all today though, folks. From ant hills to strip clubs. I don't know any strippers nowadays though. She had worked as a stripper. My friend there, his wife, she had worked as a stripper. I'm trying to think when they moved. They've probably been gone 8 or 10 years. And she was probably 35, 40 when they moved, so it's probably been 20 years since she was working as a stripper there. But I'd about be willing to bet you that Sunday's still probably the best time to be up there if you're the working girl type, as far as making money and all that. I doubt anything's changed. Maybe less business now because it seems like less people go to the church. But here in the South, I mean, them parking lots full every time you go by them. They shut down that one nudie bar in Knoxville a few years ago. The one, the Catch right there off the interstate. They shut it down. The Mouses here are still going strong. I don't know any strippers. Can't even remember the last time I've been. Too cheap for that now. My younger days, I was a little bit more loose with money. Nowadays, I'm too cheap for it. Good. He's getting the hell out of here. And get back to talking normal again. It just bothers me to talk around people. It bothers me that I end up around so many people. Big body of water like this, how do we find each other? I don't get it. It's got him one of them nitro boats. I think you get them at the Bass Pro Shops. $200 a month the rest of your life, you can own that same boat. Gonna need you a truck or SUV to pull it with though. Can't pull it with my compact car like I can this kayak, 32 miles a gallon. He didn't catch a damn thing over there either, did he? You know why he didn't catch them? Because he didn't have any stickers on his boat. He made too many casts and he didn't catch anything. That's the difference between the professional bass fishermen and the amateurs. Stickers and how many casts you make. I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to catch another one though. We're off the fish, man. We were on them all morning over there on the other side, and then, but again, is it time of day, location? Like it could be, you could make an argument for any of it, and ultimately we'll never know. But this is how drifting often goes, that you cover water, you get on fish, you get off fish, but usually you're getting bit pretty consistently. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like it so much, is you are getting pretty consistent action when you're drifting along. You're at least getting something. Well, even if it's just small fish tapping occasionally, like you're getting something to kind of keep your mind engaged. Now, we've been fortunate through here that the depth has remained consistent all through here. So, like today, I get asked this question a lot when I'm doing drift fishing videos, is do I adjust my baits? And in an edited video, you're not necessarily going to see me changing the depth of my baits because I mean, that kind of thing's just not gonna, why would you put it in an edited video, you know, unless you were just trying to make a point about it. But a day like today where we're unedited, we're all in uncut here, if I had to change the depth of my baits, obviously you would be seeing me adjust them up and down, but we've been consistently, we've had consistent depth all morning. The other side over there, 22 foot-ish. We get over here like 25 foot, 26 foot consistently. Like there's not a lot of, we're not having the ups and downs, undulating features at all. I mean, like it's just consistent through here. But makes for an easy morning as far as drifting goes. You don't have to really worry about, unless you just come across an object like a sunken tree or something, you're not going to get snagged up, and you don't have to sit there and constantly raise and lower, which in this kayak, when you're only fishing 2 rods, raising and lowering your baits, it's not a big deal. Now, if you're fishing, say my other kayak, and I'm drifting, I got 4 rods, and you're trying to drift somewhere like, I'll use Nickajack as an example. In them areas I fish down there, it's got them deep holes. The channel on Nickajack, the original like old riverbed, it's so narrow through there. If you get a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, like you're going to be snagged. And there'll be some huge changes in depth. Like you might be drifting along 50, 60 feet and it drop off to a 100-foot hole. Next thing you know, you come out of that hole 100 feet, and now you're back up to 80. Like if you're not constantly, if you lose your attention, lose your focus for any amount of time, like you're going to be snagged, or your bait's going to be 20 foot off the bottom. You're not going to catch anything. So you got to be really vigilant about raising and lowering stuff in that situation. And honestly, it's kind of, I mean, I've done some drift fishing down there. I've done well. I've caught some big fish doing it. But when I go there, I typically don't. I'm going to spot lock down there. Or I'm going to drift my way down to a hole and spot lock. But that constant up and down, especially if you're trying to manage more than a couple rods, like it gets to be a chore. And then you get somewhere like Nickajack, man, like there's so many snags down there. If you let your rigs drag bottom, you're done. You can kiss it goodbye. You ain't getting it back. There's been some times where I've literally had all 4 rods snagged up at the same time. So while it can be done, I don't really like drifting places like that. I would rather set up on places with spot lock. But areas like this where we're at today, where you've got some consistency and depth, this is perfect type of place to be doing some drifting. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. Now, somewhere like Nickajack, where you've got the deep holes like that, I mean, I've caught fish as deep as 110 feet down there. That's one of those type places where if I fish there all the time, I would definitely want a kayak with a motor. Here we go. Nope, he let it go. We'll come across some fish here at least. I can kind of see them on the screen there. You may not be able to with the glare, but there's some fish there. We've got life again. But I would definitely want the motor down there, just because when you're fishing areas 100+ feet deep, man, the amount of rope it would take to get yourself properly anchored, especially in that current, it's going to take a lot. And that channel through Nickajack is so narrow, barges can't go around you. Like, you have to get out of their way. So Imagine you're in a situation, you got a barge coming, you got to reel up 4 lines, or however many the hell you're fishing with. And then you got to pull up 300 foot of rope, and then go out there and reset all again. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to do. So that's where spot lock really is worth the money in those situations. Now where we're at out here today, we can function just fine without any kind of motor. I mean, current flow, we're moving, but it's not so fast that you're not going to be able to get back upstream or anything. I mean, it's just this kind of area, the motor is truly more of a luxury than a necessity. I am going to have a bit, with the current moving, current's moving a lot faster today than what it was earlier this week when I was out here, so I'm going to have a bit more of a haul to get back today, not only just distance-wise of how much water we've covered, but also, too, just because I'm going to be going against a little bit more flow. It's going to slow me down. But that's all right. We'll persevere through it, get my exercise in, get my cardio in for the day. Usually, when I'm in my pedal kayak, when I'm done fishing at the end of the day, I'll usually try to pedal faster. Like I can do, in this kayak, I can do a comfortable, casual pedaling pace for a long distance. Now, my Hobie, the Hobie pedal drive, I don't even use the pedals in my Hobie anymore. Like I'm just motor only in that. Because I kept getting, I got piriformis syndrome from pedaling my other Hobie there several years ago. But even ever since then, if I try to pedal that stepping motion in the Hobie, if I do it too long, I get sciatica. Like my body just hates that pedaling motion. But the bicycle style doesn't bother me. So I can go a casual pace in this bicycle style pedal drive. I can do it for a long period of time. But when I'm done fishing, oftentimes, I'm done, done fishing, cameras are done. I'm not trolling any baits or anything. Kind of like today, if I was trolling, if it was a situation where I was done fishing, but I had my bait rods and I was trolling my way back to the car, well, obviously then I don't want to go super fast because I want to try to catch bait. But you take a day like today where when I'm done fishing, I'm done. I'm going to hustle to get back to the car. Like I'm going to pedal faster than I normally would, to the point like I'm exerting myself a little bit. Like I'm going to get some exercise in, is what I'm getting at. Like I kind of use, when I'm in days where I'm in my pedal drive, when I'm done fishing, I kind of treat it as like my cardio day, to get some exercise in, because you can pedal comfortably for a long distance and barely use any energy, but the faster you pedal, the more difficult the resistance becomes going against the water. And so you kind of reach a point with the pedaling where, and usually it's funny, you see these guys, you'll be at like a demo day or something, and you'll see new people try out a pedal drive. And the first thing they do, as soon as they get in the pedal drive, it's like, they're like a mouse on a treadmill running as fast as you can. And I'm like, that ain't, slow your roll there. That's not sustainable. But you can go a casual pedaling pace in this kayak here. I mean, I can go 2.8, 3 miles an hour. I can go a long distance at that speed. But you kick it up to about 3.5, maybe 4 miles an hour, and boy, you tire out fast. So for the amount of energy you expend, it's not worthwhile for that little bit of extra speed. But if it's a situation where like, I'm gonna have a 30-minute run back to the car and I wanna get a little cardio in, well, I can kick it up a little faster, get back to the car quicker, and get a little exercise in, especially in this heat and humidity. So that's what I'm gonna do today. If you had you one of them damn 1980 model John boats with a 1970 something outboard that these people want to argue with me about, you ain't getting no exercise with that thing. Now I know a lot of you say, hell, I'm going fishing, I don't need no damn exercise. I don't disagree with that. But if you're somebody, you want to do a little of both, you can. Make a day of it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've seen a lot of these fellas in the John boats. Some of them need to do some cardio. I rarely watch a fishing video, but some of these guys, man, they bend over, pick up a fish, hell, they're wheezing, just trying to hold the thing up. I'm like, boy, that's they need to work on that. I ain't telling nobody how to live, though. Everybody got to live their own life. I remember my step-grandpa, he smoked and drank and all that stuff. And when I was little, you know how us kids are and stuff. You'd try to tell them that smoking's bad because that's what you'd hear in school when you were a small child. And drinking's bad and all that. And you'd say, I don't care if it is. I don't care if it's going to cost me 10 years off my life. I'm gonna smoke. It did end up killing him. Actually, I can't remember what he died from. Maybe he had I can't remember if he had a liver problem or, I can't remember. I was young when he died. Finally got action here on this rod. Something's wanting to swim with it right there. Did he just drop it, or is it just He's got it, by gosh. Let's pick up on it and reel this one in. Lord Almighty, it's been forever. Ever since y'all talked me into moving, we've been off the fish. I don't know why the hellions talked me into coming over here on this outside bend. What a dumb idea that was. All your fault. Small fish. Not only are we not getting bit over here, but the quality and the few fish we've gotten has went down too. Where's your bigger kinfolk at, fish? Will you tell me, please? If you don't tell me, I'm going to leave here in a minute. This fish says, well, get the hell out of here then. That fish didn't invite me down here to begin with. No fish. Lord Almighty. I may drop baits down a few more minutes here. I just might. One thing about it though, I mean, like I said, to start the video, we're going to have to be conservative with bait today. And we've still got some whole skipjack still in there that we ain't even cut. I'll probably end up wasting them because I'm not gonna fish tomorrow. And these bait, they'd be what? Got them yesterday. I'll just get some more. I'm not gonna fish tomorrow, so I'll end up throwing them out. It's nice to be back on some skipjack again, though. I went through a little dry spell there. I just couldn't find them. Thankfully, I'm back on them again. It did help yesterday when it was raining, though. That was what seemed to kind of turn the bite on. I wasn't catching anything until it started raining. And they turned on. I sat there and wore them out. It ended up really not taking me that long. So I got that bag full there, and I just said, well, I'm done. I'll just call it a day. That's what I like doing, though, man. I like to come out, fish a few hours in the morning. When it gets hot, get off the water. And in the afternoons, I mean, it's still hot in the afternoons and stuff, but pleasure boaters and the bass boaters, they come out in full force in the evenings. I just don't have, the older I get, the less desire I have to fool with them. I mean, we ain't seen but a handful of people out here this morning. It's been too damn many. I want to just have the place to myself when I go fishing, so weekday mornings is where it's at. This wind has kicked up all of a sudden. It's blowing downriver. Now we're moving 1.2. That's too fast. We're gonna have to pedal here into it a little bit and slow ourselves down. We for damn sure ain't gonna get bit moving that fast. And maybe too, when we got over here, it was 0.8, and then we've been going about 1 mile an hour for a stretch, so maybe that's part of the problem too with us not getting bit, this increased speed. Analyze it till we're blue in the face. Yeah, I like to do my fishing early morning, let them have it. Back when I was working night shift all the time, I fished at night a lot more because you can beat the heat at night too. And you don't have, once the bass tournaments are over, because around here in Tennessee, man, about every night of the week, you got a bass tournament that's going to be running 6 to 10, 7 to 10. I mean, them weeknight tournaments. And you get a Friday or Saturday night, they might fish till midnight. But you get out on the water after about 10 p.m., you got the place to yourself 7 days a week usually. So I used to do that back when I worked night shift because I'd try to, on my days off, I'd try to keep the same sleep schedule. Like, you know, I'd travel nurse and I'd try to do a 6 on, 8 off type schedule. And I'd come home every other week. And I didn't want to have to constantly be going from normal sleep schedule back to staying up all night. Like it was just better for me. It's better to me to try to maintain at least. There's a plane right there flying over. Hell, I thought he was going to crash land in the water or something. But at least, you know, when I was trying to maintain my sleep schedule, I could go to bed at night. I'd try to go to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning. That way it was dark when I would lay down. But I would have still stayed up most of the night, so it wasn't such a big deal to stay up till 7, 8 o'clock in the mornings when I was working. But because of that, I fished at night a lot more then. And that was kind of before my YouTube really took off and stuff, because it was, I never could get people to watch videos that were night videos. Like, even if I could get them, like sometimes I would tinker with the thumbnails, so a person would have to click on the video to know that it was going to be a night trip. But even then, they'd click right off. Like, it's something about, I guess, not being able to see the backgrounds, the scenery. Like, you just couldn't get people, I couldn't get people to watch. The average watch time was crap on those videos. Like, people just wasn't interested in night videos. Which honestly, for the longest time, I kind of thought was a little odd because so many catfishermen fish at night. But I just couldn't get them to watch. So when YouTube kind of started taking off and I kind of got away from the night shift schedule anyway, my last few contracts, I was trying to think, well, my last contract, the last job I worked as a nurse, I was night shift, but I had taken some mid-shift jobs too, like 11 to 11, 1 to 1, that type of schedule. So I wasn't really maintaining that night shift sleep schedule. But I just got away from doing the nighttime trips, and I can't say that I miss it. I mean, fishing at night has its perks, just having the water to yourself, but, oh, here we go. We slowed our speed down here, now we've gotten bit again. Is he gonna take it down? I want him to take it down hard. Make sure he's hooked. I think he's got it now. Oh, he's definitely got it now. Look at him go. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, he's ripping line. Oh, and he's gone. Man, he buried it. He got my other line over there. He buried it, buddy. And just like that, was gone. Managed to get my other line, of course. I wonder if him getting in my other line's what got him free. I wonder if he worked himself free on the other line or something. That was a damn nice takedown. Didn't fight him long enough to get a feel for how big a fish he was, but boy, now we're moving 1.5 miles an hour. We got a wind just, I mean, it's not blowing hard, but it's blowing just perfectly downstream here. And it don't take much to get you moving in a kayak, especially one this lightweight. But yeah, I don't miss. It's nice having the water to yourself at night, but honestly, I don't miss it. And you go out there at night, you got all the bugs to deal with, you got the dew that gets all over everything. You go back to some of these launch sites in the middle of the night, it's just sketchy as hell. I mean, you're just begging to have your car broke into or get robbed. And I'm gonna tell you something, and I know I've probably got a lot of night shift workers out there that watch my videos. When you get off that night shift sleep schedule, your whole life's gonna improve. Like, I feel so much better sleeping at night than I do trying to sleep during the day. Because it's hard, and you all know how it is. It's hard sleeping during the day because inevitably the phone's gonna ring. If you're on the road traveling somewhere and you're trying to sleep during the day, you're not gonna have like blackout curtains, so light's gonna be coming in, making it harder to sleep. And then when you wake up, it's gonna be harder to go back to sleep. If you're at a hotel and you're trying to sleep during the day, you're gonna have people running up and down the halls, housekeeping's gonna be knocking. Like, it's hard. It's hard to sleep during the day, especially if you're traveling on the road. And if you gotta do something, you know, if you got an appointment, let's say you got a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment, you need to get your oil changed in your car. You don't do that in the middle of the night. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not gonna go get your teeth cleaned or get an oil change. But if you're a night shift employee, if you're a night shift worker and you're sleeping during the day, well, by gosh, you better believe you go get your teeth cleaned. It's gonna be at noon, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something. You know, that's the middle of your night when you're trying to sleep during the day. And and you've got appointments like that you can't always get out of, and so it's just hard. It's hard to maintain a healthy sleep schedule when you're a night shift worker, and it wears on you over time. I know just me personally, when I got away from working night shift, and I worked night shift for a long time, but when I got away from it, my body, I just felt better. I felt so much different. And I don't sleep particularly good now. Like, hell, last night I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, burning up. But I still feel so much better than what I did when I was working night shift. And I feel better now than what I did then, and I was a lot younger then, and better energy level and all that back in them days. And the people I've known that's been night shift for forever, they hit a certain age, physically they just, listen, I ain't trying to just crap on anybody here, but I mean, they just look rougher. They age. People who work night shift, they don't age well, is what I'm getting at. Like, their skin, it's just, you just don't see it. You don't see night shift people age well. Once they hit mid 40s, early 50s, like they really go down quickly, it seems like. I think it just takes its toll doing that for so long, especially the people who's done it for a long period of time. See, I definitely don't miss the night shift schedule. I've had people request some night videos. I thought about trying some of these unedited, raw and uncut videos since they've done so well. I thought, you know, maybe I could do that on a night video, but hell, at this point, I can't hardly get the motivation to go out and try it. And I had to take my nighttime filming light, that 12-volt plug, and plugs into my battery box. I had to take it off to put on my weed sprayer to plug it into my mower, because the plug on my weed sprayer had went bad a couple months back, and I took the one off of my filming light to put on there. So I'm gonna have to jimmy rig that on, get me another plug or something before I could even go out on a night trip. So there's another excuse for me to not do a night trip. Aside from the fact that I'm normally in bed by about 10 o'clock, and aside from the fact that nobody watches these nighttime videos, I don't even have a way to film a night video right now. Yeah, that wind's blowing directly downstream, but if I don't periodically just pedal a little bit, we're moving way too quickly. There is a cap on the speed. Even fish are wanting a faster moving bait. You're gonna, mile and a half, just too quick. I know them guys that bump, I don't bump. But like if they're on a really fast flowing river, they'll cut their speed in half and walk them baits back. And so those baits are moving certainly quicker, but those fish are in faster current too. They're used to eating baits that are moving really fast downstream at them. Whereas out here, I mean, it's just, we don't have that kind of flow. So unless fish are actively chasing other fish, they're just not going to do it. They're not going to hit a bait going that quick. Well, y'all, I'm hot. I'm hot. And we're not doing worth a flip. We've done worth a flip today, but we're not doing worth a flip now. Coming over to this side of the river here was apparently a mistake. I honestly, oh, maybe we'll get us one more here. Here, I'm about to wrap it up, and this fish says, hang on, Justin. Well, he wants to tease me. He's just let it go. He's back for it. Let's see if we can maybe get us one more here before we call it quits. I wonder if he's got it. Oh, he's got it now for sure. Look at him go now. Okay, let's get us another one here. This fish he heard me about to close out this video because I done been feeling like I've made a mistake coming over here. And he knew he was gonna miss his chance, and he said, hang on, Justin. I gotta get on this video. Even though nobody's still left watching at this point, he's gotta get on the video before we go. Surprisingly, my battery has done better today than what it normally does. I've still got some juice left here. Normally, I'm damn near in the red at this point. Could have done without that fish. Now I got water coming off my glasses. You may have got these people wet on the screen. Lord, fish. Get me all sopping wet. Won't take long to dry out today, though. I'm gonna be sopping wet time I get back to the car anyway, because I'm gonna have I'm gonna have worked up a little bit of a sweat pedaling back. All right, let me see what you got going on here, fish. Congratulations, fish. Unless that other rod goes down, you are gonna be the last one on the video. How's that make you feel, fish? He said all he feels is a hook in the jaw right now. He says, get that thing out of me, Justin. If I can get it out of you. How far, fish? Let me get spun around that way, maybe. Okay. Getting the stinger in the face. Hold yourself out there, fish. Prestigious honor, being the last one on the video. How's it feel? He said he still don't feel nothing. Get on out of here then. All right, folks. Well, hey, we had a little bit of a lull. We clearly made a mistake coming over to this. Y'all got water on the lens too. We made a mistake, I guess, coming over here. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, the bite may not have been any better had we stayed on that inside over there. I got to get y'all clean. That's going to drive me crazy. So who knows? I don't know if it would have been any better for us to stay over there or not, but what I do know was we were catching fish over there. A lot of them. And getting some decent ones. And then when we moved, we left fish to go find fish, and it's been piss poor results since then. But hey, the day overall, man, I'm happy with it. Out here fishing during the spawn, we got good numbers, we got some quality fish, got that one small flathead too, so I'm going home happy today, y'all. It was a fun trip overall. But I am going home though. I'm gonna pedal my way back to the car, huff it a little bit, get some cardio in, and go home, eat some lunch, hang out with that old Daphne the dog the rest of the afternoon. That's a hell of a day, ain't it, folks? Go fishing all morning, eat lunch, might squeeze in a nap, hang out with Daphne the dog, man. Life's pretty good, y'all. It's easy to get bogged down and all the negativities of life, but life's pretty good. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for coming with me today. I'll see you in the next one.